Warning! The following episode of Orsini's Uncensored Mind contains explicit language and adult content. The thoughts and opinions stated on this show are reflective of A.J. Orsini, the Steve Dave, and their guests exclusively. Seriously, guys, my dada and uncle say some pretty crazy stuff. If it offends you, go be butthurt somewhere else.
Welcome to Orsini's Uncensored Minds, and now your host, AJ Orsini with Dave.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. It's your boy AJ Orsini once again here with my bro, Steve Dave. We are here with another episode of Orsini's Uncensored Mind, episode 339. Of course, I am rocking one of the original CM Punk return shirts. Are you doing okay? You're not feeling your hairline or something?
No, my hair's like
it's
hairy. Growing. It's doing that thing where it's like not long enough to fall, but like it just sits weird. I brush my hair, I swear. It's just doing something right here. It's just
Is it a self part? Is it just kind of doing its own thing?
No, when it comes to hair growth, my shit is like, you know how usually people back here have the little spiral thing? I feel like I got that shit all over my head.
Oh, okay. I know what you're
like there's multiple all over, so it like grows weird here. Like the barber cuts it, he has to like go in every direction or just don't go even.
Oh, at least you still have the opportunity to go to the barber. I'm just wasting my money going to a barber.
You too. I give you a little rub down, nice little hot towel, rub your head, get up right up under the neck. It's a barber, so it's not gay. You get right up under that
barber. Yeah, it's his profession.
Yeah. Then when you cut your mustache, he like flick your lip a little bit, make you feel special.
Just a little bit.
It's not gay. Hey, it's not gay. It's not gay.
Steph wants me to go to that one where they do the shave. With the thing
butter
like
you up, get the little cream going. My setting's a little off. Yeah, man, treat yourself.
We're gonna power through this. There's some technical difficulties on my end today, but as it relates to my little setup here, so we are going to power through. If at any point in time we need to, because we're not live, so at any point in time we need to pause it up, I'll just pause it up real quick and figure it out. It's my laptop. It has nothing to do with anybody else, and there's nothing wrong with it except for the fact that it waited. I'm doing a lot of editing, non-podcast related editing, and I needed to render something, and for whatever reason, it choked my whole system up. But it didn't choke it up until all non-homo was in a good way. Yeah, and it waited until I went on. We really just started to go on the air when everything started popping up. So this is a time bomb. I just don't know when and where. So let's see if we can get through this particular show. Not this Saturday, but next Saturday is the Royal Rumble for the WWE. It is going to be taking place in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. I know you guys hate that piece of information, but that's okay. You are going to grow, and you're going to grow up a little bit. That's all that it's really going to take. You're going to grow up. All right. So it's going to happen next Saturday. It's going to be in Saudi Arabia. Like it or not, they've already advertised that there's going to be some surprises, which means nothing anymore because every time they announce a surprise, nothing surprises us. So it's going to be what it is. We're going to do our yearly conversation about it. The former roundtables. We're doing our live convo of the Royal Rumble next Tuesday, live at 7 p.m. We're going to be live for the Royal Rumble. It's going to be me. It's going to be Deceived Dave. And I don't normally announce my guest beforehand on the off chance that they don't make it because shit happens. But there is one guy that I absolutely know for a fact is going to be there because he always is. The return of Joe Pombo. He's coming. To join us. I couldn't get rid of this guy if I wanted to. He's so loyal, it hurts. And he's going to be here with us. And we're going to have some additional guests. But let's be real. You guys are excited about Pombo. We know. We love having Pombo back. Unfortunately, I was supposed to make an appearance on his show the 1 week later edition of To Be Seen. We were supposed to do Stranger Things together. Unfortunately, I was in Puerto Rico with bereavement when it came up, so I wasn't able to do it. So he'll be on the show next week. I'll be able to apologize to him in person. I already apologized to him on the phone, but we'll do it in person next week. And hopefully we'll make it up to him with something else coming down the pike. We do have, hey, Pombo, if you're listening, Spider-Man's in July. I'm just saying. And we're going to talk a little bit about some of that stuff, as a matter of fact. More importantly, let's get into the conversation of exactly what it is specifically that is going to be discussed on the, looking for the clip, there it is, show.
Hey, what's going to be on the show today?
Like I said, everything on this machine right now is running like pure, unadulterated, organic ass, straight farm to table. This is the cleanest, most natural version of ass you're gonna get. This laptop is running like pure shit. If I'm lagging right now, I apologize. But what are we talking about on the show here today? Unfortunately, Dave has to bite the bullet for our first segment as we drag our knuckles through the ground and talk a little bit about these teasers that have been released by Marvel leading up to our Doomsday release. The clock is ticking, 12 months until Doomsday hits the screen. There are a lot of twists and turns in the road between now and December. We're just now getting our taste. We'll talk about all that in our first segment. We're also going to be talking about something that rarely ever happens. Very rarely do we do a story on this show or talk about something that happened news-wise or business-wise and ever really return to it. We're usually one and done here. We're the hit it and quit it type of podcasters. We just get in and we get out. But this particular one is so hilarious. We have to go back to it because it's the ultimate pettiness. Paramount. The last time we talked about Warner Brothers, we talked about the possibility of a purchase of Warner Brothers between Netflix and WB. And then we did the whole Street Fighter, here comes a new challenger bullshit. Paramount tried to jump in on board. Oh, Paramount embarrassed itself on the table. And oh, man, it went all out. It threw all kinds of shit at it. And they still wouldn't give the pussy up. So we're here trying to decipher what went wrong and what the hell are they doing right now because they're headed to court and so much more. The segment after that, after our commercial break, of course, we're coming back with our wrestling portion of the show. We're going to do matches 10 through 6 on my favorite 20 non-Royal Rumble matches as we lead into our finale for next week, which I didn't think that this was going to wind up on the live, but it looks like the top 5 will be live next week.
Yeah, that works out. That's pretty dope.
That worked out way better than I thought it was going to work out. We'll have some more heads to discuss those 5 matches, so it should even be a more dynamic conversation about that. And I'm actually thinking that's going to be our first hour, while our second hour is probably going to be the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. So lots to do next week, but we're still talking about here, which brings me to the main event. Because the main event, boys and girls, your boy did the work. your boy took the time because I wanted to get this one right. And what I did was I crunched some numbers. So what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be doing pro wrestling by the numbers. For everybody who tells me that the WWE is old and the AEW is nothing but young and fresh and new talent, and one company's building for the future, the other one is the future. We're going to find out by the numbers. Your boy put it all together. He took all the ages of all the active competitors on 4 different brands, and we'll explain why it's 4 instead of 3 when we get there. And I even made a pie chart. I made several pie charts. So it's nice and easy to discuss. I got some visuals for you. It's going to be a fun time because I'm sick and tired of all of the subjective chatter. Let's get into the real deal, the real nitty-gritty of the whole situation. So that's our show here. Let's not procrastinate. Let's not drag ass. Let's get right into it.
Dave, it's time to start the show. Let's begin with segment 1.
Now, Dave, the last time we spoke on this particular subject, when let me get rid of the QR code because the QR code is for the beginning. We can get rid of you now, like Tony Stark. You can rest now. You can go. There you go. Where are we at? Where are we at? It is right here. Hi. Thank you. The last time we had a conversation involving Marvel, you said a comment to me that stood out in my head, and it's something that I've had in there ever since.
Fuck this.
No, well, aside from the fuck this, the one of the reasons that you had explained to me that you'd fallen off the whole goddamn thing is because the homework just became too much. it just
up, dude. It went too fast.
it was just, you can't see this show until you've seen this movie or this show, and then you have to crisscross with this, and then but wait, you didn't see What If. See, this character is in What If for like 15 seconds. It became a bit much. So out of respect, considering they really haven't done a whole lot anyway, anything really worth all that discussing, they in between our last conversation, they did another What If. You don't really care. They did Zombies. You don't really care. They did Eyes of Wakanda. You really don't care.
Is it all relevant?
Eyes of Wakanda, no. What If? Maybe. That depends, because the first season of What If kind of mattered. So we'll see if they pull any shit out from the second. And the Zombies, no. So not a lot of it really all that matters. But the reason why I'm bringing it back up now is because this is the moment that all of the haters have been waiting for. They just wanted to get to this. All the other bullshit shows and movies were all character development, was all build up for characters that some of them didn't even give a shit about. I don't care. I just want to see all of them get together and smash some shit up. So in the last couple of weeks, Marvel has finally given us our taste. They've given us 4 teasers. Now they're saying that they're not actually teasers. They're saying that it's 4 components to a very intricate story. If you guys can look at the shots and look at the teasers and try to find the Easter eggs, it's all telling you all these different. I don't give a shit about all that. We're not getting into all that. That's for another podcast to decipher. I just want to talk about the obvious things from the clips. Like, for instance, to start off, the first teaser.
Everyone has kids now.
The return of Steve Rogers. Well, you know what? Not for nothing, Dave. It's a law of averages. There's only but so many times that man can shoot the club up before one of them catches hook. You know what I'm saying? One of them's going to get to the A. He's got super soldier serum. Say that 4 times fast. But yes, he's back. And right off bat, and I think this was obviously part of the marketing plan, because as far as these teasers go, this was the one that they probably knew would get the people talking the absolute most. This is the one that has kind of split people down the middle, because there are those who look at this and go, oh my God, cash grab, right? Of course, nothing's going right. They got to get the guy that helped make this go right the first time around. Then there's the other side of things where people are saying, we have a Captain America already. You gave the shield up. We love our new Cap. We don't want to go back to the old Cap. But the old Cap was objectively a little better than our current Cap. I don't know what to do. So there's so many discussions now about Steve Rogers and his return. The baby notwithstanding, because we know that the baby's going to play some sort of role in this. They wouldn't have shown us the baby if not. Your initial thoughts to seeing Steve Rogers come back in that first teaser? Were you surprised by it? Were you kind of like disgusted by it? What were your thoughts when you saw Steve?
I mean, my problem is I want to ask questions as a whole. So
okay.
You want to go through the rest of them, because I don't want to go. Like, I have a question about the entire thing, which just doesn't really.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you want to ask now, or you
want
to wait?
Well, I can ask. I didn't want to spoil if you want to go through the rest of them.
Let me just so let's
I don't want to jump all over the place. I'd rather get the information.
So we'll get the overall. Okay, so I'll come back to the Steve thing. Our second teaser that was released was Thor. Now Thor looks to be in a forest kind of wildernessy area, and he's got Stormbreaker with him, which is a little different than the last time we saw him, because the last time we saw him, he had Mjolnir again, and he had given Love the Stormbreaker. So now that he's got the Stormbreaker, and he's practically begging for his life to be spared in this moment so that he can continue his fight and return home, it kind of gives the indication that something is wrong with Love. So We'll find out more about that, and obviously in the major film. But it's basically the second teaser is just him making a plea to Odin to continue his life just a few minutes more so that he can win whatever fight he's engaged in at the moment. The third teaser that was released was why am I blinking now all of a sudden? X-Men, right.
Xavier.
It was the X-Men clip. It's Charles Xavier, it's Magneto, the original
Bars, by the way. His spiel was kind of went hard. I'm not gonna hold you. It was good. He got me just he for a second there. He made me go, I might watch one of these movies. No, it was pretty good. His spiel was good.
I'm still to this day uncomfortable between the physical relationship between these two actors. They make me feel very uncomfortable. There's some clammy sandwiches being had between these two individuals, but they're both back in their original roles, Magneto and Professor X. Patrick Stewart, who plays Professor X in this movie, has stated that his career is over. This will be the last time that he performs as an actor. He is ending his movie career with Doomsday. He's going to go out with a bang. He's John Elway. He's going to go out with a ring. And then off into the sunset, which I'm assuming his retirement may last a week or two. I don't know how much longer, without work pushing him. I don't know how much longer he's got to go. But they're going to be ending their careers with this movie, and they do, like you said, they do this nice dialogue between the two of them, and it ends with Cyclops in his blue and gold outfit from the comic, tearing off the visor, letting whoever he's shooting at have it. If you are a true time-tested comic book fan, you know that the ripping off of the visor is significant. It's a significant move. He doesn't do it often.
It's his last resort usually. It says, I have nothing. I need to give 100% right now, or we're fucked.
Unadulterated. Yeah. And I always laughed, even when I was a kid reading the comic, I always laughed because the beams come out of his eyes. So in order for him to really execute the move, he's got to he just opens his eyes, which seems normal at first. But if you think about the aggression I always laugh at this, the aggression of ripping off the mask and then getting a beam of that size just means that he's going like he's just really going for it. And I don't know if he gets more beam, if he like push, like, can you push more beam?
I would imagine, because even in the fighting games he had there were different sizes of his beam. So true. I could imagine the wider his eyes, the bigger.
The visor always kept it very neat and very concentrated.
Oh yeah, it blocks it in like this.
Yeah. And then when you take the mask off, it's just raw beam. He's just raw dogging motherfuckers. So that's a very significant shot. Not just that, but I mean, if they would have showed him in just the goddamn suit alone, the fucking internet would have jizzed his pants. But to remove the mask and just go all out, and you can visibly see in the background Sentinels and them being in the MCU right now is just absolutely fucking crazy to even think about. And then, of course, our fourth teaser, we're back in Wakanda. It showcases Shuri, who is in the Black Panther outfit, and M'Baku introducing himself as King M'Baku of Wakanda. And they tease this walk up, and he introduces himself to someone, and when the camera turns, it's Ben Grimm. Of all the places of the Fantastic Four to crash land on this planet, Wakanda has to be the most comical place for the whitest family on Earth to crash land. From the whitest family on Earth from the goddamn 60s to crash land into Wakanda. They must have been so confusing when they didn't find any white-only water fountains, and they were just like, are we supposed to eat like with them? Oh man, this it's all over the map. So we're gonna be seeing, this is just a taste of all of that. This particular teaser, the fourth one, is just a taste of what we're all already assuming is going to be just a cluster of different personalities and different characters meshing in scenes you just didn't think was possible. like so well. Before I get into what comes after, now that we've talked about the 4 teasers, what is the question you had about the actual teasers?
So why Cap and Thor? So obviously I'm disconnected from this, but from my last understanding, they were done. I assumed the same thing about Tony Stark, but then when I heard about that Doomsday, my whole question there, or Doctor Doom rather, my whole question there was
Right.
how is he just playing Doctor Doom as a completely separate character, or are they going to find a way to mash it together? Now, there's a guy that works at my job who is absolutely obsessed with this shit. So he kind of explained a little bit. Thankfully, he was gracious to my ears and gave me like really quick.
That's good. He was trying to put you on game. He was trying to put you on game.
I think he picked up real quick that I did not know a lot about what's going on, so he didn't waste his
the fact
breath.
that you saw the teaser and didn't ejaculate, he went, something's wrong with you. You're missing something.
But actually, this was before I watched this. I had they were talking about it, and I asked them like, "What's going on with Doctor Doom?" Just randomly asked him about Tony Stark, and he said something about when he passed, like it had something to do with all the times, and then one of them stopped him from like being able to complete. I'm not remembering correctly, but like something in the timeline because of Captain America did something, I guess, to go see his kid. It stopped Tony Stark from something happening, and now he's Doctor Doom trying to go back to change that. So something like some shit like that, right? So, but the answer is, and obviously you can clear it up, but the answer that I got was,
I got you.
It is Tony Stark. It's as Doctor Doom. It's not like a separate character. He's just playing someone different. So that's how they tied that in, and you can obviously make that more sense. But so that's one person I thought was done with this. So now he's back. Now I'm hearing these two are back. So my question is, why? Do you think this was the plan all along? They were just kind of playing it as an ace in their back pocket or something that they could do when they said that they were done and they knew they were eventually going to come back? Or did they make a phone call and go, hey, we need to make a pivot here. Some things aren't turning out the way that we want. This is how we want to drive the story. We need you three back for this. Is it an answer to failure, actually, is what I'm trying to get to?
Which is a lot of speculation. There's a lot of people saying, well, it didn't work out, so now they're going back to the people that did make it work. Okay, so my answer to all of those questions, and I'll get to them all in a row, but an over-encompassing answer is we're not entirely sure, because as per the usual, they've been keeping everything, and I'm going to turn this on because my balls are sweaty. Oh, it's not plugged in. That's fun. Okay, this will be a fun show. The overall encompassing answer to that is we're not sure, because they keep everything obviously very, very close to the vest. What we've seen as far, I'm going to answer that last one first, in the sense of, was it a response to failure, or was it always the plan? Because I have a deep-rooted belief that it was part of a tentative plan. And what I mean by that is that the minute Endgame ended, there were already talks from people involved of Endgame that they were all leaving, but wouldn't mind coming back for Secret Wars. That was discussed on the red carpet. The Russo brothers were very quick to say, hey, we've had our fun. We did as good a job as we thought we could do. We're going to be doing some other things. But we'd love to, if we ever got the call for Secret Wars, which, by the way, that comment was made before it was announced they were even doing a Secret Wars. They said, the only reason we feel like we would ever come back is if they did Secret Wars. And Hugh Jackman, who plays Wolverine from a different company, again, when he retired, when Hugh Jackman was like, okay, I'm done being Wolverine, I've been doing this for 10 years, it's over, it's a wrap, I don't see myself ever doing this character again. And then he had brought up, unless they needed a Wolverine for Secret Wars, but then, other than that. So there
Yeah,
was
see, to me, that's too. That I don't believe in coincidences like that. To me, that's
no,
like this
there's
was all a plan.
and there's a third, and there's a third. The third piece of evidence of people already thinking of Secret Wars around the Endgame time, and people forget this, but it was Chris Evans who was the one who said, because they asked him, just the current MCU right now is all about time and variance and all this different stuff. Would you ever see yourself coming back? And he always gave the same padded answer. I love the way the story ended. I love the ending for Cap. I love the way that with the dance and all that stuff. It's such a great ending. I would hate to ruin it and blah 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 blah. And then every now and then he would slip and he would say, "Well, anything can happen with variance," which has been the docile way of people getting out of it. All of the actors from the MCU throughout the course of the last few years since Endgame have always relied on the whole, variance, right? However that works. The MCU has solidified since Endgame. And that's one of the reasons I feel like they got so much hate. That fourth phase, they blew that wide the fuck open. That there's so many possibilities and there's so many doorways that it could go. To go back to your Robert Downey Jr. question, is it Tony Stark? Is it Victor Von Doom? And the funny about it is the answer is still the same. We don't know, because there's a Tony Stark in 616, but there's also a variant, and this is long before the movies. There is a variant of a Tony Stark that became Doctor Doom. There is a Tony Stark variant that knew Victor Von Doom, and this is a different alternate timeline where something had happened between the two of them and the roles had reversed. That Tony became Doom, and Victor became the Iron Man, and the two looked very different as their characters. But there is a Tony Stark variant that is Doom. But then the Russo brothers went public stating, nah, he's Victor Von Doom. So the other option on the table is that this is a quote unquote Tony Stark like variant that never became Tony Stark, that was adopted by another family and became Victor Von Doom so it could still very well. There's a lot on the table, and one of the
Are they using Robert Downey Jr. as like the way that story is supposed to be told, or are they doing it as an Easter egg, as in a hat tip to this is that, like that switch, but he's not Tony Stark. He is Victor Von, but obviously the actor is the same, so it's like an Easter egg.
Robert Downey Jr.'s hire was specifically made to do exactly what it's been doing ever since, and that's creating conversation. They could very well have hired Robert Downey Jr. for zero reason. He could just be Victor Von Doom playing a literal different character.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
They could very well do that. It would be insane to do that, not because they couldn't pull it off storyline wise. I mean, if you could just suspend your disbelief and just pretend Robert's a talented enough actor to do it. I personally believe it would be leaving too much on the table. Having an actor of his caliber who got so successful playing the other character, it's almost too tempting to not play with that. Like, for instance, there's a rumor that started when they released the Fantastic Four that was kind of circulating around the internet, that the beginning of Doomsday is Victor Von Doom arriving on this Earth, 616, and being a little, obviously it's culture shock. It's a little confusing because it's a different universe. It's a different dimension. And he's walking around and he's seeing all of these murals to the passing of Tony Stark and what a hero he was and everything he had accomplished. And that there's an idea in Victor's head, oh, he looks just like me. He must be a variant. He's a hero here. Let's play with that. Let's see how far I can get here if they all think that I'm Tony Stark, as opposed to actually being Victor Von Doom and playing a game with that to see how far he can go. There's a million different ways that they can do this. And I think the marketing for Doomsday personally has been absolutely fucking genius because the Russo brothers have discovered something very, very cool about the internet. See, they've spent years, decades actually, we're on now, of trying to keep everything close to the vest and keep everything quiet and try to surprise people. You can't do that anymore. It's almost impossible to do it. Even people within the production companies leak shit. Like it's almost impossible to keep this shit quiet. So what I've noticed, and I'm not the only one that noticed this. I'm not patting myself on the back, but ever out of the blue, ever since trailers and teasers started being filmed and all that stuff, the internet has just been pushed with AI generated videos where it's people putting together AI videos of what they think is going to happen in the trailer and what they think is going to be a scene in the movie. And they just post it. And I don't think it's a coincidence that just before all of these trailers were released, they were all leaked, but they were all leaked amongst all of this shit. It's almost like instead of patching the dam up and keeping the water in, just tear the
rode the wave
dam down and just fucking flood it.
They just steered into it.
They steered into it. They did it so that even if you saw it, you wouldn't know if what you saw was the real thing, because right behind that is like 7 or 8 other videos of them doing other things.
If there is one group that could do it and make it make sense, is this, because it plays literally into an alternate timeline. You know what I mean? It's like it's like fan created alternate
timelines and dimensions.
Yes. Right.
Yes, it's brilliant if you ask me.
It's actually brilliant.
I don't even know if they're doing it on purpose. It just seems like something I would do. Because it's not a coincidence. Because there's no coincidence to me that it did not happen. There was no Marvel AI. I mean, there's the usual fan-made shit that you would see, but we saw an influx out of nowhere, out of the blue, of just Doomsday trailer, Doomsday teaser, and just fan-made. It just kind of happened overnight where it was just like every channel had it. So many, in fact, that the YouTube channels that cover this stuff all the time, Marvel comics, comic book movies, all that stuff, they were having trouble deciphering what's real, what's not. There were people putting out content about the AI content, whether or not it was actual content. It's the weird fucking thing. And then when the trailer dropped, for the most part, it was almost verbatim to some of the videos that were leaked, but everyone questioned it because it's like, is it the real one? Is it not the real one? I don't know. I can't tell. So I thought it was absolutely beautiful. And you opened up with another question. Oh, why Cap? Why Thor?
Yeah.
So okay. So everyone involved kept saying how much they enjoyed the end that Cap had with having that last dance, or that first dance with Peggy at the end with the nice song playing, and that was the end of his story. And Steph will tell you, because I kid you not, I said this in 2019. That can't be the end of his story. It doesn't make sense. It's a nice looking ending, but it didn't make sense. Based on what they had set up prior to his leaving, it could not have been his end. It didn't make sense. I didn't know how it didn't make sense until Loki. And this is why the homework counts, because Loki's series explained why Cap's ending makes zero fucking sense. Because the end scene for Cap in Endgame is he has all of the stones in a suitcase. The bargain for getting those stones is that each one of those stones belongs to a different timeline. Okay? They needed to return the stones in the exact time that they had taken them in order to keep from those timelines from just being destroyed. So the idea is that Cap took 6 stones in a suitcase in a machine, disappeared, and then never came back, and stayed wherever the fuck he was and stayed with Peggy. That is a impossibility. It does not make sense. It should not have happened. It's a nice ending, so everyone looked past it. But in Loki, they explained it. It's called an incursion. When you do something that it goes against the timeline, something that takes you off course, it splits off a branch from the timeline and it causes problems. It can create an alternate It can destroy the timeline you just came from. Now, he came from the sacred timeline, so that's going to be tough to destroy, but it can set up a different timeline. He was never meant to be with Peggy. In his timeline, Peggy had passed away. We saw her die in Winter Soldier of old age. His Peggy is dead. There is no other Peggy. So for him to have returned the stones and then stayed in a specific timeline, it doesn't make sense. It causes an incursion. So when people say, well, what about old man Steve? He gave him the shield. That doesn't mean it was that Steve. It just means it was a Steve who came back and gave him the goddamn shield. So the Steve that we're seeing in the teaser very well could be the actual Steve that we know, because he had the suit that he last wore at Endgame. It's the last Captain America suit he ever wore. So we saw that in the teaser. That was for us to be confirmed. Yep, it's your Steve. And he's in a different timeline. He's with Peggy. He has a son. It's a whole ordeal. But for people
they just over there fucking it up. Oh,
Yeah,
they fucking everything.
Well, I don't know if they were. I don't know if they knew in that moment they were going to jump on that, because who knows between how many years between the end game and whenever they were going to do the next thing. But I know for a fact they left that open. I felt it the minute I left the movie and just went, that doesn't seem right, because every conversation up until that point says that you're not allowed to do that, and he did it. And everyone just went on with their lives. Well, he had he got what he wanted in the end.
Well, doesn't that make it? We're about to spiral into a whole different thing here, but like, doesn't that kind of make him the bad guy? Because I'm pretty sure he knew that.
Yeah, it kind of does. It was a
fire.
I don't know if it's destroyed a whole timeline fire, but I don't. Like, what was it Eddie Murphy said? He said, hey, $1 million pussy? Ain't no such thing as $1 million pussy. I'd like to meet some pussy like that. I'll put it on layaway. But no, it was a selfish move. It was looked at like a nice ending, but in reality, and one of the other questions that people thought of is that he had 6 stones to return. One of them is the Soul Stone. How did he return the Soul Stone? Because Black Widow.
I think I heard someone talk about this.
Black Widow died.
You have to make a sacrifice.
You have to make a sacrifice, and not to mention when Cap showed up with the Soul Stone, and out of nowhere the Protector showed up, and it's Red Skull. How did that conversation go? It's like, bitch, wasn't you just on the plane with me? Bitch, didn't you try to kill me on the goddamn plane? Now look at me. I'm sitting here in the goddamn planet by myself, all alone, just me and this godforsaken stone that everybody just keeps dying over. And I gotta keep telling them, don't take the stone. It's a soul for. I keep telling people it's a soul for a soul, and they do it anyway. And Cap was just like, you know what? Here, just take the fucking bitch back. I'm not doing this shit with you no more. I'm going home, get some buns. That's it. I'm going home to clap cheeks, my guy. Take this fucking stone so I can get the fuck out of here. Thor's situation is a little different. I don't know, to be honest with you. When last we saw Thor, he was done fighting. He had found love, and he had a literal daughter named Love. And that was it. Who, by the way, is being played by his actual daughter, which is hilarious. And that's the last time that we saw him. I refuse to watch Love and Thunder over again. I did it once. I proved my point. I love Marvel, but I will not be rewatching it again.
That bad, huh?
I will not be rewatching it again. So it is what it is. I did the homework the first time around. I will not be reviewing. I'll let them decide for me what I should and shouldn't know. But the takeaway from that teaser for me with the Thor one is that he's begging for his life. Something has gone so wrong that, remember, I told you his daughter had Stormbreaker. So the fact that he has Stormbreaker and he's begging Odin, I want to go home. I want to be with Love again. I don't want to return as a warrior. I want to return with warmth. And he just wants to be done fighting. Finally, just fucking life. He wants to do something else, which it unfortunately gives me the opinion that he may not be making it out of this situation. which is, in Infinity War, a lot of people died from the snap, but you never really got the sense, like, are they dead? Like, Is that
Yeah.
this?
Almost like an erase, but not death.
Yeah, this
This feels like murder is
this
happening.
this one this one people are they're telling you between Cyclops' reaction, Thor's begging, Steve's pure ignorance, and Shuri's what do you even call that at the end? Just determination. Like she's just got that fight in her eyes. This is huge. Like everyone seems to be on their fucking P's and Q's right now. This is going to be humongous, and everyone keeps saying, "Well, Doom's that kind of character." I still don't believe Doom is the only threat they're going to face. I don't, because even in the comics, Doom is him. Don't get me wrong. Doom is that. He will fuck your life up. Don't get it fucked up. He will fuck you up. But all of these people, I don't know if he does it alone. Battle World as a storyline in Secret Wars, there was a different guy who was in control of it, and he was nasty too. But even he couldn't do it alone. So I don't think he's going to be alone in this. There's too many factors, and you keep mentioning kids. Keep your eyes on these fucking kids, bro. Keep your eyes on these fucking kids. These kids are not. This isn't charged up playing cards and cuttable claws. This is bending reality. This is shifting through time. These kids. These are heavyweights. Franklin, America. These are heavyweights that are coming up the ranks right now. That are going to be fucking some real shit up if they stick to what these kids can actually do. The stuff that the Avengers and the X-Men do it's cute. It's cute. I can't wait for Franklin to sneeze and destroy 2 timelines by accident. And it's just I can't wait to see how this fucking works. And the Fantastic Four coming in, X-Men got their own commercial. This is all hands on deck. This is gonna be crazy. Crazy. But the teasers are up. I'm being told that we're recording this Tuesday the 20th. I'm being told that there's going to be a Spider-Man trailer tomorrow, so I won't make it in time for this episode. But we'll see what Spider-Man has to offer because they're going to be the precursor to. This is the last stop on the road to Doomsday. So let's see what Peter Parker has in store for us. One last ride for the Petester. He's going to show what's up. So that is Marvel's Doomsday's. Wait, did you have any more questions about the stuff that we were?
No, I'm good. I'm
good. All right. So that's the teasers that were released there by Marvel. Of course, when something huge comes up, we'll probably mention again. Won't bring up the Spider-Man thing again. The Spider-Man thing is just a tease into some other stuff. There's supposed to be a huge character reveal in Spider-Man. The redhead Sadie Sink, who played Max in Stranger Things, is going to be in that movie. There was a lot of conversation as to who her character is. The only character on the cast list that is completely redacted. We don't know who she is. They're keeping that one close to the vest. Hulk's going to be in this Spider-Man movie. Punisher is in this Spider-Man movie. We don't know who Sadie's playing, but it's one of 2 people. There's talk that it might, actually one of 3 people. There's talk of it being Silk, which is a new character in Marvel in the little Spider-Verse deal. It could be Peter's daughter, but he looks a little young to be a dad. The rumor is that this is Tobey Maguire's daughter, the elder statesman. And the third one, and I hope it's not, but it very well could be. The third rumor is that it's Hope Summers, daughter of Scott Summers, Cyclops. And the reason why I don't want it to be that is because that takes us down a different path. To have Hope in the MCU starts bringing us a little closer to Phoenix, and I don't want to see that right now in the MCU. I can't do Phoenix again. I can't do it again. Please. There's been so many versions of the goddamn Phoenix. I just can't do it. I can't do it. So let's pray that it's not. But that's what we're leading up to. That's what's going on with the Marvel stuff. So let's talk a little bit about what's going on. We talked about an upcoming movie. Let's talk about what that famous movie company is up to.
Let's keep this show going. It's time for segment 2.
WB Warner Brothers has put up on the chopping block. It's up for sale. It's up for grabs. Somebody wow me with an offer. Now, Netflix
Hmm.
had the biggest set of balls on the table. We talked about that many moons ago when Netflix made the bid, about $82 billion. Not bad, not too shabby. That's a good bid, good bid, good bid, good bid. Strong, strong. You know, if we were playing, what was it? Is it Family Feud? We're like, good answer, good answer, good answer. I like it, I like it, I like it.
More
And then,
so because some of that or a chunk of that is stock options, isn't it?
yes, some of that was stock options for sure. There was also some other, what do you call it? Read the fine print kind of situations where there was a dollar here, a dollar there. It was looking like $27 per share cash.
Mhm.
And then Paramount walks in the door, says, "Oh, I got you. I got you. Money is what you're looking for. I got you."
27. No. Was it like 27 or something like that? And like seconds like
Netflix was like
we'll do,
27. And,
we'll do 30.
yeah, we'll do 30.
All options though, no cash.
Yep.
Straight all options.
Well, I mean, balances itself out. It's not a terrible deal. They were even thinking about putting people close to the Warner Brothers current system on the board of directors, like keeping them involved, not excommunicating
Sure,
them
that sounds nice,
completely.
but that's because I don't know if I'm getting ahead of myself, but that's because they know that's not enough. Yeah, you put 30 up there, but compared to the Netflix deal, that's not enough. And I've been saying it, and I feel like the Netflix deal was still better. And apparently WB agrees with me.
uh, yeah, you're
Because
not.
they
You're.
told them to fucking kick rocks, buddy.
They said, "Hey, look, listen." They threw all this shit at the bitch, and she said, "No pussy for you." So
Nah.
and
I don't
now,
give a fuck if my guys are on the board. I don't give a shit about that. I want more money.
so apparently, the reason why we're bringing it back up because Paramount Plus is behaving like a
Cheering.
hoodlum, a hoodlum on the train station platform, as we say here in New York.
Mm,
All right,
mhm.
you're just on the platform, minding your own business. Here comes a fine young thing walking before you, and you hit him with a "What up, ma? What up, ma?" And she goes, "Nah, I'm good." And all of a sudden you go, "I didn't fuck you then, bitch." Like,
You ugly anyway. You
yeah,
fat
you ugly anyway,
bitch.
bitch. Anybody trying to
Fuck
fuck with
outta
you? Shut the
here.
fuck out. Get over yourself. But no, that's exactly what apparently what Paramount is doing. So let me talk to you real quick. I've got an article in front of me. Reuters, reuters.com. It's on the business section here. Headline reads Paramount suit. I would love to share it, but last time it fucked with me. So I'm just gonna read a piece real quick. Paramount sues Warner Brothers for Netflix deal details, plans proxy fight. Right? So this was written January 2nd by, I don't want to ruin it, Aditya Sani. I don't want to mess up the name. But Paramount Skydance on Monday sued Warner Brothers Discovery for information on a rival $82.7 billion deal with Netflix, escalating a battle to take control of one of the most storied Hollywood studios. The David Elson led company also said it planned to nominate directors to Warner Brothers board in one of the most aggressive steps to convince investors that its $108.7 billion all cash bid is superior to Netflix's cash and
Okay,
stock.
that's what it was. It was all cash. It was all
Yeah,
cash. It isn't.
all
No,
cash and still. Paramount and Netflix have been in a heated battle for Warner Brothers, its prized film and television studios, and its extensive content library, which includes Harry Potter and the DC comic universe. Warner Brothers last week rejected Paramount's latest offer, advising shareholders to vote in favor of the Netflix deal. In a letter to shareholders, Paramount also said it would propose an amendment to Warner Brothers bylaws that would require shareholder approval for any separation of the media giant's cable television business, which is key to the Netflix deal. Paramount's argument is that its all-cash bid of $30 per share for the whole Warner Brothers is superior.
Okay, that's where I was confused. It was $30 per share, but it's not in options. It's in like a cash out, like all cash.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, that's where I was confused. Okay, gotcha.
It says that it's superior to Netflix's cash and stock offer at $27.75 per share for the studios and streaming assets, and will more easily clear regulatory hurdles. So Paramount is saying not only do we have the better deal, not only we have all cash, we're paying up front, not only are we paying more on stock, but we're not as high up the rank as Netflix is. So those political hurdles that we talked about last time on the show, how even Donald Trump was like, yeah, we'll see how that goes, because they don't want to monopolize the market. Paramount saying it would not monopolize the market if we did it. We're not Netflix. We're lower on the scale. This is a much better
We're not that good, so give it to me and I will fuck it up.
Paramount filed the lawsuit in Delaware Court of Chancery seeking to force disclosure of the financial analysis behind the Warner Brothers board support for the Netflix merger. Okay, so rivals and WBD bidding war partners and shares decline. So what they've been saying here also is that during the course, and this I think I can show. So hold on one second, and then I will show people so that they know exactly what we're talking about. Where are you at? Chart. It just says chart. That's hilarious. Here we go. No, I don't want to invite. I want to share the screen. And window chart. There you go. So this is being used here, right? So it's saying that during the course of the bidding, that Netflix and Paramount have declined in shares since this. This whole conversation about who's going to buy it has done nothing but help. Look at all this. Improve the value of Warner Brothers. It's like before, nobody was really fucking with you, but now everyone's talking about you, so now everybody's fucking with you. All of this stuff has been nothing. And here we are now here, Paramount sues Warner Brothers. It's all been a part of a major push to get this out. So there's more to this. You guys can check out the rest of this. Warner Brothers has also said it will owe Netflix a $2.8 billion termination fee if it walks away from the agreement, part of $4.7 billion in extra costs to end the deal. Because again, remember what we said. When this whole conversation started, Netflix and Warner Brothers had already come to an agreement. It was just a matter of clearing it with X, Y, and Z. Paramount made that bid after there was a tacit agreement. So Warner Brothers is now leaning on the fact that they said, well, the offer right now is $82 billion. If we say yes, we get $82 billion. If we say no, we got to give them $2.8 billion. But considering Paramount's offering $108 million and $100 million,
it cancels out.
Yeah, I mean, just take it from the goddamn, just take it from the funds. You good?
I mean, it cancels it out. Sure, like you can figure out the finances, but I still think. And now I'm kind of questioning my understanding. Are they saying that Netflix's deal is cash and Netflix stocks options, or are they just saying the same thing that Paramount said, that they're going to give all cash?
It's a different deal. Paramount's not tying any of the stock to the deal. They're just flat out buying it.
Right, but Netflix
is offering stock. Yeah.
Okay, that's by far. I'm not even a finance major. But I'm telling you right now.
Yeah.
That is by far just the don't look at the number of Netflix today. Don't do that. That is not going to dictate. And that 27, that stock option is going to skyrocket the moment this deal is done. That in the next 6 months to a year, that number's through the roof.
Right.
Out of here. So
because they see
double, triple that number from the stocks. It's a far better. Am I ignorant? I feel like this is so easy. I sound stupid.
Stocks rise and fall every day. I'm sure an economist would be able to come out here and tell you that.
First quarter is when people spend.
Any economist worth their salt is going to come in here and tell you stock options sound nice on paper until you have the stock in your hand and the motherfucker fluxes like crazy. Stock options are only as good as your ability to sell them, right? Because with stocks, it's always get in low, get out high. And that's a very difficult game to play. There are people who spend their whole lives 24/7 glued to this shit, trying to see if they're going to survive or not.
Well, that's day trading. What they would be
Right, but
doing
this
is
is
long term, like a long term investment, which
right,
is gonna pay out. And
which
I
you
would
would think is the
imagine
same bet with
Netflix,
Netflix. Yeah,
and I would imagine Netflix ideally would have loved to get this process going in Q4. Q4 ends, your numbers are reported. We're into Q1. We spend, we drop the money, our value drops because we spent all that money, we took on debt, whatever the case may be. And then as the year goes by, it stables out, and then the trajectory starts to show, whether it be 6 months to a year and a half to 2 years, that incline will start to rise once you start getting the payout on what you spent on Q1. Now here comes Paramount delaying this shit. Like, we need to get this going, dude. You're fucking up my stock options.
Paramount's being petty at this point. There's no other reason to take.
They're trying to stall it. They're trying to fuck with something,
right? Because I'm pretty sure they won't be able to finalize anything while a legal matter is still being settled. So the longer they can postpone this, the better that they feel it's going to be. But if
they know this is. And they know this is the demise of them if this goes through, because this increases the value of Netflix. This allows Netflix to be able to charge more, which if you don't think they're going to, you're crazy. And if you think people aren't going to pay it, they will. And this is just going to edge. They're going to edge Paramount out like that. I'm a casual watcher of stuff. Paramount is not on my list at all. There's nothing.
I have a Paramount account, and I don't know what's on there.
Netflix though, I'll use. And if you think you're gonna put Harry Potter on Netflix and my wife isn't gonna be on there every day, you're bugging.
Well, I was just gonna say that's the beautiful part about Netflix's position when it comes to the bid for Warner Brothers, because that stock, if you really think about it. And I know I was just saying a second ago that it could be wishy-washy, and it still can. There's no guarantee of anything. But if I'm Netflix, my pitch to Warner Brothers is think about this for a second. We're, in the eyes of many, we're number one. If you look at the statistics, at best, between Amazon, maybe Disney, you can make an argument. If we're not one, we're definitely two in the world of streaming. And people are looking at this deal like, well, if they get, like you just did it right now, if they get Harry Potter, or if they get the DC universe, or if they get this, or if they get that, they're really going to be a powerhouse. And if I'm Netflix, I'm looking at WB and going, that's not even true. Because we got to the number one spot. Again, arguably, if you prefer it on the site, we're still at least number two. And we did that with Squid Games, Stranger Things, K-pop Demon Hunters, all properties that are ours. We didn't get big on anybody's fucking shit. We got big on our own shit. So in-house, we can smash it. To then take your shit and add that to the top, how can we fail? It's impossible.
Well, yeah. Well, if you're Netflix, there's a chip on your shoulder because you should be number one. And if we're being honest, the only reason why they're not, and it's Amazon, because it's fucking Amazon, and they have geniuses who work there. They know how to fluff the fucking numbers. And Amazon doesn't have a system that they sell things through. Netflix doesn't sell things through Netflix like Amazon sells things, and they're able to bundle their shit together to fluff their numbers. But if you're just talking raw content data, nothing else, Netflix is number one, but it doesn't show it on the paper. So how would you feel as Netflix in that situation? I want this boost because it's going to put me where I belong.
Amazon is the smartest group in the bunch, because all the other apps are exactly that. They're just streaming apps. Amazon took a website that is already if you took Amazon Prime Video and eliminated it from the Amazon website,
It's number one
it's
still.
still going to be one of the most visited websites on planet fucking Earth.
Mhm.
They threw that on top of it. And remember, when we spoke about this the last time that we talked about this whole merger deal, I had completely forgotten. I have an Amazon TV in my bedroom staring at me in the face right now that already has Amazon shit on it. So I already had Amazon, but I could promise you that if I didn't have it, the minute I got the TV, I was going to get it because it's on my goddamn TV and I want goddamn
That
access.
gets deeper because
I
I
can-
don't have an Amazon TV, and when we watch stuff on Amazon and we walk away to go to the bathroom and come back, I can if I'm sitting on the if we're watching something and I pause it and you because you need to go to the bathroom or something and I'm sitting there, I might get baited to buy some shit off the TV. They make it so that they show you shit, and there's a link
Don't leave
to
me alone
your
with it.
Amazon account from your TV. Where I could buy it right there on my TV
Yep.
instantly.
They're geniuses.
These guys are insane, bro. They're absolutely insane. So yes, they've manipulated their way to number one.
They thought of everything.
They manipulated their way to number one, but I think with this deal, and it's not just the deal. It's a weapon with someone who knows how to use the weapon. What is Paramount gonna do that Netflix would crush otherwise if they had it in their hands? So it's almost like I hesitate to say because I don't want to believe in any large company like this, but like if I have to put the superpower in someone's hand and think that they're gonna actually take care of it and drive this further if I care about it, it's gonna be Netflix.
No,
But,
yeah,
they're being little babies right now. And
they're being petty. Yeah, they're being petty, and one of the comments I saw under the YouTube videos that I sent you about this, one of the comments was it was like Paramount Plus : if I can't have you, nobody will have you, and that's it. I will possess this, and it's pretty fucking right there on the goddamn nose. So. There you go. That's we'll keep you. I guess we'll keep you abreast of the situation with WP because it's becoming more and more of an issue. Apparently, they're just not going to let that shit go through. Period. Anyway, time for our commercial break. We'll be back in just a few minutes. This is your boy ajorsini here to remind you guys that if you took the time right now to look around your home, look in the kitchen, the bathroom, the bedroom, the living room, all of the areas within your home, if you look around, I can promise you, you do not have enough OUM merch in your house. This is scientifically proven. I know for a fact you do not have enough. Even if you're listening to this and you already have a few, you do not have enough. But that's okay. We can solve that problem very simply. All you need to do is head over to ajoum.com. That is it. It is ajoum.com, and you can get yourself some AJ Orsini Deceive Dave Orsini's Uncensored Mind merch. We've got t-shirts, we've got socks and pants and sweaters, we've got decor for the home. You want some sheets for your bed with AJ Orsini? We got them. You want some to cover up your windows? We got them. You want some dishware? We've got them. Head over to ajoum.com for more merch goodness.
Segment 3 is here, and I can't wait.
All right, guys, our next segment here, we're talking about my top 20 favorite non-Royal Rumble matches. How about that? We are here to talk about 6 through 10. Now, at the beginning of the show, I made the announcement that next week, Tuesday, we'll be live to talk about the Royal Rumble leading up to the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. And it just so happens, I didn't schedule it this way, but beautiful things are a beautiful thing. Our top 5 will be discussed live on the show. But we have to get there first. We got to do 6 through 10 here. This is the bottom half of the top 10. We had some barn burners on this one. Got some barn burners on this one here. So I'll go ahead and hide this. We'll review all the 15 next week, and then we'll get into the last 5. But let's go ahead and pop this up. Start this bitch off right. Actually, put this back on for just a second. Before we do, I realized that when we did the 16 to 20 we kind of rattled off those pretty quickly because those videos were really short. And then the next group, we seemed a little bit more enthralled with the matches, and it's only going to get better from here. So we go to number 10. We're talking about Shawn Michaels, the Heartbreak Kid, versus Triple H, last man standing match, 2004. This was a bloodbath. This was messy. This was two people trying to have a goddamn fight. There's not a lot of that anymore. Not a lot of people who just want to have a goddamn fight. And that's what this one is. Shawn Michaels was on. This is 2004. So he's 2 years back. He's in a fucking groove at this point. He's rocking, he's rolling. And Triple H 2004. So I think this is getting ready for the reign of terror right here. This is where the world champion is getting ready to piss off a bunch of people. But bringing in number 10 here, starting off our top 10, Dave. What were your standout moments? What did you think of the match?
I thought it was pretty good. I did have one weird gripe with it.
Okay.
That
fair.
to me I want to hesitate and not say killed it.
Okay.
But it did fuck me up a little bit, and I didn't like it. Kind of pulled me out of it. But overall, it was still good.
But
I don't like when Shawn cut.
Oh yeah. All right.
It bothered me a lot because I think the whole premise. I don't know why the fuck I said premise like that. The whole premise behind it was indeed a bloodbath, and I think the up close when Shawn had just gotten back into the ring, the way his eyes were dazed and glazed over, the shot was beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
But I hated when he cut. It just didn't make sense to me. So now I'm sitting there dealing with the idea of him doing a crossbody onto a table, and now he's bleeding, which I guess you can make sense. That's perfectly fine. I'm not here to argue that. How I felt about it is I didn't like it. It just didn't feel like a direct blow to the face to cause that much damage. Now, he got back in the ring. Triple H did what he was supposed to do and worked it, in which we got that beautiful shot of him just completely glazed over.
The crimson mask.
Beautifully, man. You wish it looks like that every time. He sold it perfectly with his eyes. Everything was beautiful, but it just kept bothering me that he got it on a crossbody onto the table with no contact. But the reason why I don't completely hate this is because of the way Shawn busted Triple H open.
Made up for it.
Shit was beautiful, and I love commentary. It was like when he said, was it King who said it? He was like, man, it might have been JR. I don't remember, but when he hit him, he's like, damn, he really like dug deep, or like he hit him deep at that chest. He got deep, and that's what it sounded like. And to see him crack open on that, it was like two opposites. Like one made perfect sense, and the other was like, where the fuck that came from. But I don't mean to enter this with a gripe, but other than that, it was a phenomenal.
It's a fair criticism.
Way it ended. They both beat the shit out of each other, knocked out, double count out. Shawn walks off. I'm sure that drove some story after that that I probably don't remember, but it would make sense. It was a good match. I just had that. I couldn't wait to get here to bitch about that one.
This technically, this was the end of their feud. They did.
This was
They left the cliffhanger at the end for the possibility of one more match, but the one more match ended up being at WrestleMania in the triple threat with Benoit. So even though they did compete one more time, they threw the extra body in there, and it was the extra body that ended up winning the match. He became the world champion at WrestleMania. So I always considered this match here the blow off. And maybe there's a piece of both of them that knew that. This is probably why they went so all out for it in this particular matchup. But spoiler alert, we're going to be simply seeing Triple H in this lineup a little later on as well. The boy the boy knew how to do Royal Rumble, non-Royal Rumble, Royal Rumble matches. His boy, he good. he's not just a booking genius. He was an in-ring general. So Shawn Michaels, Triple H, dope ass match, 2004. Check it out when you get the chance. Another match here at number 9. No stipulations, just a match. But this was a match that kind of stood out to me, and it might surprise people that it's this high. But number 9, Daniel Bryan and Bray Wyatt. I give this match so much due and so much love because it was a match I thought for sure I would hate. When they put this match together, I said, this is going to be terrible. this match is going to be the shit. This is going to be a styles clash. These two guys are just not going to be able to figure this out. They're not going to be able to put something coherent together. 100% wrong. 100% wrong. They went right into the storytelling, which is big for this particular situation. This is the program that eventually Daniel Bryan would join the Wyatt family, only to betray Bray. It wasn't real. That slow yes in the cage where he got everybody back in on his side. But it culminates into this. Daniel Bryan and Bray Wyatt at the Royal Rumble. I'll openly admit to not being a huge Bray Wyatt fan. Love the promos, love the character, loved some of the stories he was able to put together. I did not like his in-ring. And at that time, I was kind of reversed on Daniel. I at the time loved his in-ring, obviously. He's Daniel Bryan. Wasn't really all that sold on the yes thing. I'm like, oh, it was cool the first couple times he did it, and then he went into the no's. The no's were good. And then when he went back to yes, I was like, because it was the second time he had done yes. He did yes, and it went over well. Then he changed it to no, which I thought was better than the yes. Because when he was doing the yes the first time around, it was to be a condescending prick. Then the fans started doing it with him, so he stopped. And every time they would do yes, he would say, no! And the no's to me were better than the yes because he was screaming in kids' faces, no! 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 It would be kids, old women. Like he had smoke for everybody when it was the no's. He would do a no during his own entrance. He had shirts where the yes, yes, yes shirt, where they put tape over the yes that said no on it so that he could know he was trying to kill his own gimmick. And they just wouldn't let it happen. And then eventually he stirred back into it. So I wasn't really digging it. But this match brought me back to turn me around on both of them, to be honest with you. Because Bray, I finally saw a match with Bray where I was like, okay, no, this was good. This was good. If we could do this more often, I'd probably be into it more. And the same thing with Daniel. I was able to see Daniel Bryan in a match where it didn't need to be a technical masterpiece. You know, it was still a really good worked match, but it didn't need to be move, counter, superplex, all the usual shit that he does. It was a nice change of pace for the both of them for me. That's why I was always pleasantly surprised when I saw this. Where are you on Bray? Were you a big Bray guy?
No, I'm not. Like the promos were okay, but my problem is I agree with you. To him, his in-ring to me was never enough. So after a while, the gimmick was cool, but now we're all bark and no bite. That's how I felt about him. So it was neat. Like it's the best way to say it. And I just wasn't like
neato.
So I was never a big Bray fan, which is why to me so far this is the worst match on the list. It was tough to watch. I'm actually, as I was watching this, I was thinking, I'm curious what the reasoning behind this, first of all, being on the list. Maybe there weren't that many Royal Rumbles and you didn't have much to choose from. Or two, nostalgia had something to play in this that I'm just detached from because the pacing to me just wasn't there. Like it just wasn't a good match at all. From beginning to end, I was bored out of my fucking mind watching this shit. So to hear your actual reason, made me hate it even more because it didn't. You're usually good at hyping me on shit, and I hated everything you fucking said. So
yeah,
this
the only reason I can give is that it was better than his usual shit.
I would put this 21 out of your 20 list just so that it just missed the list. No other reason. So I did not like this at all. This shit was boring, man. I fucking dragged my ass through this. Did not enjoy it.
Okay.
Sorry if you're a fan of either one of these. This is not a. Although I am not a Bray fan. To me, this is not a comment to either one of them. I just did not. Just like damn it! I'm drawing a fucking blank. I literally just had the two names in my head. Whatever, forget it. I just not a comment to both of them. I just don't like seeing them together.
Okay, that's right. I had a feeling at some point we'd run into one where you're just like,
yeah, but this it's so far away from the rest of your list so far. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. Okay.
So
all right. So our next one here, number 8, Ric Flair. Woo! I don't think it's possible to say his name.
Now we're talking about some fucking heat. It's so weird that I saw that last match and then watched this one and goes, why does this go way harder than that last fucking match? I don't get it, but it did.
We're here at number 8, Ric Flair versus Vince McMahon. I will forever be confused as to how we got to this match in the first place, but will forever be grateful that we did.
That promo, though, doesn't age well. Doesn't age well. I'll tell you what. It did not age well. No.
Oh, my God. You're talking about the one of him in the chair when he's just... Oh, man.
What?
The NW...
What he said?
The specific.
He said he's like what is it? Something about making people suffer.
Yeah,
and that it turns him off.
It turns me
on. I was like, oh, whoa, dude, this is not aging well. Dude.
This is not gonna go well.
Or is it?
Well, it sold tickets at the time, I guess.
Dude, but that promo was fire, though. I ain't gonna hold you. It was good.
Yeah. And this was Ric Flair's first program back after the years out of the WWE. Ric Flair's last year in WWE was 1992, something like that, or 93. Can't remember the specific year that he was gone. I know he dropped the belt to Bret Hart. It had to have been 92 because he dropped the belt to Bret in Saskatchewan and then left. But so you're talking about I want to say a 10-year absence from WWE. He went back to WCW, spent about 10 years there. Then he came back. He came back as the I'll never forget that promo in my life. Flair comes back out of the fucking blue right after Survivor Series, and Team WWF defeats Team WCW or Team Alliance or whatever the fuck. And Kurt Angle's like a double agent, right? So he switched heel and joined the Alliance, and then at Survivor Series switched back to WWE, became a babyface. And he tried to be a babyface. He was still a heel. Vince tried to award Kurt Angle the world title, the WWF Championship, in place of Steve, because Steve was on the Alliance, and the Alliance is now out of business, so I get to name a champion. And he was going to hand the belt to Kurt Angle as a thank you for beating the Alliance. And then Ric Flair comes out, and the consortium, woo, the consortium was me, and now we're partners. And they were 50% owners, Vince and Ric Flair, 50% owners of WWE. And
what a great fucking story, man.
And they just butted heads, and they just butted heads, and it led to this fucking match. And the beautiful, Vince McMahon in the Ric Flair robe in the ring, and Rick is like, take that off. You haven't earned the right. You haven't sweat. You haven't bled. You haven't paid the price. And then he pulls out the pipe and just clocks Ric Flair with the gun.
This was Vince, if I remember correctly, because I kind of vaguely remember seeing this when it happened. This was the first time Vince was in the ring for a match, right?
No. 2002,
Because I
right?
distinctively, maybe I'm remembering the first time, mixing up the first time with this one, because I distinctively remember, and in this whole match, they kept pointing it out, how fucking big Vince was for this match.
Well,
Like, he was
yeah.
big as fuck. So I don't
The-
remember if this is when he bulked up for this match, and that's
No.
why I remember that.
99, he was a greased up asshole for sure. His first official match was at the 99 Royal Rumble, and he was greased to the goddamn gills then. And he was
Who's he against?
he was in the Rumble. That's what I'm saying. He was against everybody.
Okay.
That was when he fought Steve, and then when he fought Steve, here, I'm going to show this to you here. Right there. That's the 99 Royal Rumble. This motherfucker is greased.
Okay, that's probably what I remember. I remember there was a time where he came out for the first time and he revealed his body, basically.
Yeah, that was it right here.
And
This
he
is
was
it.
massive.
And
he was huge.
I will never forget King's reaction when he comes over. Look at this! He said, "Whoa! He is ready for Stone Cold Steve Austin."
We're gonna have to talk about it another time. But if there's one thing this is bringing really shining light on, is that JR King commentary team was
Tough.
fucking unbelievable.
They're tough.
Dude.
They're tough.
Oh my!
That
And
chemistry is crazy.
I like our commentary team now. I do. I really do. I hate that it rotates because of certain obligations. Sometimes it's not always the same. That's one thing you got with those two that you don't really get today.
It was every week. Yeah.
But I love our commentary team today, aside from one person. But they just cannot hold the candle to. We gotta talk about this another time, but we need to give JR and King their flowers. We need to spend an episode or some shit because these two are just bringing back so many.
Those two, or do you want to talk about other commentaries, or you just want to talk JR and King?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I lean more just talking about King, but JR is a big part of that. But
no, you can't do King without talking about.
And no disrespect, but my nostalgia dopamine hit right now is coming from King, dude.
Yeah,
it's just a sidebar. We need to come up with something with that because this is bringing me down memory lane. I fucking love listening.
We'll talk about it for sure, but just to tease the audience, we're talking about it really depends on your generation, and I don't want to get off on a tangent off of this match, but if you are older than our generation, people really look at Gorilla Monsoon and Bobby Heenan as one of the greatest goddamn commentary teams of all time. And if you listen to their stuff, it's a strong goddamn argument. They're very good together. But just for longevity purposes, people forget we didn't actually get JR and King for a long period of time. People forget that. They consider JR and King the voices of the Attitude Era, and they last a little longer than the Attitude Era, for sure. But we may have gotten them as a full-time, just two-man table for like maybe 8 or 9 years, which is long in comparison to what we get now. Now we can't get two people at the same table for more than 9 months. But for that time period, I think it was really taken for granted how good they really were. Because the minute we started mix-mashing them and incorporating other people, it started getting, like, Michael Cole's edition was cool, but then when you started getting into the mid-2000s and now you're adding, I'm trying to think of names off the top of my head. I can't even remember now for people because they were influxing different people.
There was a small stint there where they were trying to find that. It was obviously Michael Cole. Yeah, it was obviously Michael Cole, but they were trying to find his person, and they had a hard time.
They ended up finding the perfect team with Michael Cole when they put him on SmackDown with Taz. I feel like Michael Cole and Taz
I remember that.
Were really, really good together. As a matter of fact, Michael Cole just the other day, when they were doing some show where Michael Cole shouted out a couple of his broadcast partners, and he shouted out Taz, which is hilarious considering that he's in AEW. But I don't think either one of them really give a shit. But no, yeah, they were trying, but that chemistry between those two are ridiculous. And this right here is right in the middle of it, 2002, with Flair and Vince, and their story together. It's just
Well, I bring that up because again, you have let's be honest, Flair is Flair.
yeah,
McMahon is the owner. We have two people here. One's a little bit older. Well, they're both older. One's experienced riding a bike, and the other one is obviously been training, but like he's not really that experienced. He knows of it. Obviously, he's exposed to it, but to actually do it and make it look good is completely different. And I think not only did those two make this match really good, they obviously took it seriously. They took the program seriously. It was entertaining from beginning to end. They really told the story in the ring wrestling, which is crazy to say, but
yeah.
that commentary team alongside with it
Oh,
is
yeah,
what
sure.
just made it so like believable. They make you believe that you already do that Vince really shouldn't be in here doing this, but he's actually fucking Rick up like well too. It was just I feel like that. So I gotta peep the rest of your list, but right now this match is a lot higher. It should go up to me. This was good. This was good.
Don't sleep. For those of you out there who've never really seen, because it's been a long time, obviously, who's never seen Vince McMahon matches, don't let, like you used an analogy a second ago that I'll use now, and I'll put it in different contexts. Ric Flair is the greatest bike rider of all time, and he got in a race with some guy who's owned the bike shop for forever. Not necessarily a bike rider, but he's owned the bike shop. He knows about biking. He just is not a bike rider, and still made it work. It's not if you think of Shawn Michaels, they call Shawn Michaels Mr. WrestleMania. He's had some of the greatest WrestleMania matches of all time, Shawn. You can go ahead and you can list them, match after match after match. One of those matches that you have to mention with some of Shawn's greatest matches of all time at WrestleMania is Vince McMahon. It's not a fucking mistake. At WrestleMania 17, what was the match that stole the show? Vince and Shane. It's not a mistake. There's something to these Vince matches. That's why they happened very rarely. Stone Cold Steve Austin's greatest cage match was against Vince McMahon. It's not a mistake. He has this ability to just be okay with getting his ass kicked. He makes getting his ass kicked look good.
The crazy part is that like a lot of people, and we can move on after this if you want, but a lot of people like to give Vince shit about the way that he had a chokehold on the way certain things worked. But when someone tells you that, or when you get the vibe that someone's ideal isn't just wrestling, anyone can wrestle, can you tell a story? And when that man who tells you that then goes out and literally does it. He is not the wrestler, but he is telling you want to beat the shit out of him. Whether it be people hate Vince McMahon as a real person, it doesn't matter. You still have to deliver it in a program, in a package. And he was able to do that. So now when that man goes back to the locker room and goes, I don't care how good you wrestle, what's your gimmick? And you can't give him nothing. You're out of here, and go watch him do it and learn something, because that's what he wants.
Vince was the kind of person, he didn't ask you to do anything he wouldn't do. All those crazy entrances coming from the ceiling and all that stuff, he did all of them before the wrestler.
I mean, the man has said the N-word in front of a black man on live TV. He's willing to risk it all for his program. Let's not forget this.
Tell me he didn't just say that.
That's crazy.
Oh my God. Vince McMahon is a crazy fucking animal, man. Not to mention, he's the kind of person that he knows he can't pull off a match. The whole match depends on him getting his ass kicked. So he would get mad if you didn't stiff him. If you didn't fuck him up, he's gonna be mad. Like he wanted Kevin Owens is like, he wanted me to headbutt him as hard as I possibly fucking could. And to the point where, like, right before they came out, he was just talking shit on Kevin. Like to egg him the fuck on. And then just like, lay it the fuck in, you fat fuck. Get in here and do it. Okay, cool. We got that. That's it. See, you wanted me to fucking lay it in, motherfucker. I laid it in. All right. Number 7, which I thought some people might be shocked that I had this on the list. But
it's so crazy that you keep caveating shit like this, because this right now is my number 1.
Wow. Seth Rollins versus Brock Lesnar versus John Cena at the 2015 Royal Rumble. This was a surprise for the world. This was a gift. I, to this day, still don't know how the fuck this happened because this was advertised. This was going to be Lesnar Cena. And at the time, Seth Rollins had
That's
Money
not
in the Bank.
surprising. This motherfucker always finds his way into some banker ass.
If you listen to Seth Rollins tell the story of his career, he
Bro.
is right place, right time every fucking
He's
time.
gonna make himself the main character, whether you fucking like it or not, dude.
Listen, I mean, this is the industry for that. You have to have the talent to back it up, but this is the industry for that. You can will it to fucking happen if you're not afraid to piss people off. That's it. As long as you're not afraid to piss people off, if you don't give a shit what anybody has to say about what it is you think and you do, this is the industry for fucking you. Because you can just make it fucking happen. This motherfucker. This is the same guy who said, I want to cash in at WrestleMania. Like, the ball's on this guy. And then they get closer to WrestleMania. It's not a terrible idea. This is like, hold on a second. This isn't a terrible
Well, if you're watching this match here for a few brief moments, you're about to be like, wait a minute. Is he about to win the title while holding the money in the... How the fuck is that even gonna work? Dude, he will find his way. He's going to be in your face, whether you fucking like it or not. And he is going to be beautiful when he does it, by the way.
Yeah. And if for anybody out there who, if you like, for instance, who recently, if you have a bad taste in your mouth still from WrestlePalooza with Lesnar Cena, if you look back at Lesnar Cena matches, they're not exactly the prettiest matches. For whatever reason, not for whatever reason, we know what the reason is. For some reason, putting Seth Rollins into this mix, it just sped everything up. There was so much more.
No, let me see. No, I agree with you, but I don't think it sped everything up. I think it kept the speed the entire time because they came out the gun going, which isn't too crazy for Brock Lesnar. But with John Cena, what happens inevitably, whether it be in the beginning, middle, or the end, what happens? It slows the fuck down. Well, with that extra person, they staggered the momentum perfectly, damn near through this entire fucking match, where it always felt like they were kind of on go. And they were moving, and people were getting hurt and thrown the fuck out. I don't know how many times someone should have died in this fucking match. Everyone was landing on their fucking neck. Oh my goodness, this shit was crazy. It was absolutely nuts what they did here.
When he broke out,
like I said, it was high intense.
When he broke out Phoenix Down Splash, I said, "This dude is he's trying to get there. He's trying
that crazy, and then missed."
But I'm just saying.
Let me tell you something. I'm learning something about myself. I love when people miss. I appreciate the balls you have to have to do that. It. Like back at the Shawn Michaels Triple H match. I think what was it? I think it was Triple H or somebody. No, it was Shawn, where Shawn ran at Triple H and he ducked and grabbed the ropes. But Shawn full commits. He jumps over the rope and lands full body on the outside of the ring. And I'm thinking, like, damn, dude, to take that bump, that little thin ass Patty is not doing nothing, bro. It really isn't. So for him, go back to where we are when he did that shit. And then, to be fair, let me revise myself. I don't think he was supposed to miss. I think he kind of undershot it now that I think about it. Because it did look a little weird. But yeah, he missed the fuck out of that. He just headbutted him is all he did.
You can I was a little worried about how at the time, I was a little worried about, because this is 2015, but it's the Rumble, so it's January. We hadn't really got on this path yet. But 2014, I had my worries because the Shield break up, and then he starts doing his own thing, and he's starting to feel forced. And he had a great program with Dean Ambrose, but he got away from the Shield, but he never really got away from the Shield. So it's like, is he a main eventer? Are they really going to push this guy like that? I know in 2026 it sounds ridiculous to say out loud. Is Seth Rollins a main eventer? But that's what we were asking 11 years ago. We're like, is he really going to be that dude? And this was, I think, the first match because he's in there with two bona fide, not just main eventers, but like legends in the game. And you go, all right, if he's gonna do it, if he's gonna ascend to that level, I guess we'll find out tonight if he can hang. And I walked away from this match going, hang.
He's the future.
I didn't see anybody in that ring keeping up with him. So I was just like, oh, he's that dude. I was like, oh, that was my takeaway from this match. I was like, oh, so Seth is that guy. Oh, okay, all right.
It's funny too because I walked away with the quick reminder of the same exact thing you're saying about Brock. I'm like, dude, I forget, man. This motherfucker is a monster, and it really makes those squashes. Like, if you could just really think about his history, those squashes, although they could go a little bit different, they make sense, man. It's like a better Goldberg, right? Like Goldberg would just beat the shit, but he beat the shit out of you. Like for real. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but watching this made a lot of the other ass beatings and stuff, like when he comes back and why people fear him when he returns and shit like that. It just makes sense, man. That guy has a lot. For as big as he is, he could go. Like he really didn't burn out till like the end.
John Cena says year after year, he's the best wrestler in the world when he wants to be. If he wants to be, he can be the best wrestler in the world.
Well, he showed it here. So.
He's just playing a character where he doesn't need to be the best wrestler. That's not his job. His job is
imagine being amazing and then just like not giving a fuck. It's just like, all right, whatever. I'm that guy, whatever. I'm gonna go make steaks.
He came back to WWE after his hiatus in 2012. So we're on his 14th year back from the long time off or whatever. Imagine spending 14 years at a job only really rocking at 40-45% and still being the highest paid guy there. Like he's not even
when you're him, you're him.
He's not giving you that kind of effort because it doesn't need to.
Do me a favor. I agree with you. So I'm gonna need you to go tell him he's underperforming.
I wouldn't need to because he's.
Let me know how that works out for you.
Yeah, I wouldn't even need to because that's one of those deals where him and Paul have been pretty open about the fact like I'm aware of what my job is. Right? There's a roster full of people that can go in there and wrestle. Am I a better wrestler? Probably, but do I need to be that? No, because they all can wrestle. So if I wrestled, I would be doing what they do. None of those people can do what I do. So I just do what I do. And then
eat weights for breakfast.
Did you see those steaks that he makes?
I told you he just wants to make steaks, dude. Yeah.
No, but did you see him actually make the steak? I saw a video not so long ago of him making the steak. Did you see it?
I saw him with butchers once.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the same.
He makes steak in the manliest way a human being can make a steak. He goes into the woods and he shoots a fucking animal. And then he takes the animal into the house.
Sure.
And he skins it and cuts off the meat and racks it. And they do the whole dehydration thing. He takes the meat and he just like disrespectfully just throws the fucking carcass on the goddamn table. Takes what I can only assume is a fucking chopping knife made from a dying star, like Mjolnir, right? And he just fucking threw the ribs. Puh. By the way, no gloves, no sanitation. Fuck all that. Bacteria can't touch me. He takes one of the fucking chops, just lazily. He's talking to somebody. It was like being filmed. He just fucking cascades the shit on. Flips it. Fucking cascades the shit on. Puts the bitch on the goddamn grill. And he does the real steak. Where it's like, what is it? Like 4 minutes, flip, 4 minutes.
Oh,
like,
yeah. Bloody as fuck. Yeah. And he's just burning the bacteria off the surface. That's all.
Just so he won't get sick. Yeah. And then he just throws it on the fucking grill. He's talking. He goes back to the grill. No tongs. He just takes it by the fucking bone out of the fucking goddamn thing. And just straight off the fucking grill. no plate, no cutlery, just eating that shit, walking around the goddamn house. That is the manliest way I've ever seen a man eat steak in my entire life. He's
That's
what is
a
it?
scary man, dude.
Pat McAfee, he's the alpha male of our species. There you go. Our last match on today's episode, the infamous I Quit match. And I know you guys are going to give me shit for not having this match in the top 5. But I got to,
really.
because it's widely considered one of the best matches from both of them. And it's definitely considered one of the top 5 matches in Royal Rumble history. But it's not in my top 5. Because as great as this match was, I penalize it. I penalize the match because this was, say what you want about Hell in a Cell, but in my opinion, this match did more damage in the business than the Cell match did. Because this one felt way different. The Hell in a Cell match, okay, those were some big bumps. A lot of damage happened. I get it. It was very dangerous. I get all that. But at least you could make an argument. If you watch that Cell match, you could make an argument. It was still somewhat in the flow of a wrestling match. There was stuff on top of the cell. There was stuff in the ring. There was stuff to the side, all that stuff. That is not what happened in this match. What happened in this match is a grown man handcuffed another grown man, took a steel chair, and proceeded to put work into this motherfucker's skull over and over and over. 11, I will never forget that number as long as I live. 11 chair shots, clean, unprotected to the top of the fucking head, right here in the goddamn sweet spot, over and over and over and over. And then what makes the match even worse for me is that was the match they had on Beyond the Mat, the documentary. So that's the footage of they're showing the wife and the kids watching their father essentially get assaulted and attempted murder on fucking live pay-per-view, and the kids are crying and the wife's pissed off and he's getting stitched and stapled in the back, and it's just like he's walking around with a full bandaged head, and I was just like, it's the first time as a viewer where I went too far. I don't know. This it made me uncomfortable to watch that match. To this day, to be honest with you, at 40, I still watch it in it bothers me. It bothers me to this day. What bothers me about that match is what everyone raves about it. This is the match between The Rock and Mick Foley, and I don't know. I'll take halftime heat before I take this one. At least with halftime heat, we got that dope ass telephone prank thing, and then he hit him over the goddamn head. It's for you, Mick. Over the top of the head. It was comedy, but at least it wasn't this. This was bad. This was bad. There was a lot of. This was violent. Still to this day, one of the most violent matches in WWE history. Period. It's just blah. It's crazy. But I had to give it some respect and put it a little higher up. I can't put it in my top 5. I can't do it. You look like you're disagreeing. Another one of
I didn't like this. So here's the thing. I remember this. This is something I do remember. And I do remember in the moment how cool. So maybe my criticism is unfair. Because in the moment, I remember how cool this was. This was pretty cool. Like the whole talking shit to each other, going back and forth. Like I remember that feeling. But when I watch it today, I fucking hated this. I feel like my immersion was just constantly being broken with the microphone thing. It started to get pretty. I think that's unfair when you take, like you said, 11 chair shots into the face. You kind of don't become so creative anymore, but the whole constant microphone say I quit went from really funny, witty attacks on each other to just no.
Go to hell, Rock.
Yeah. And then towards the end, it's just like, no. I'm like, can we stop doing this? And then
know.
I when I saw the name of the match, I distinctively remembered the ending for some reason with
Warning.
he played the recording of, I guess I would assume, one of the promos they had where he was saying that,
Earlier
and
in
he
the night
used
on Heat, yeah, he said that he
he
was going to have The Rock beaten in the middle of the ring, screaming, "I quit! I quit! I quit!" And they took that audio when he put the mankind, your monkey ass tells these people right here. But he's like, "I quit! I quit!" And I was like, "What?"
if you think about it, it is kind of genius. It's a very smart way to play into The Rock being a dickhead, getting Foley to say quit without doing it, and you can continue a program with that. But I really hated the constant microphone use. I
Which
just
is in
didn't.
every I quit match, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
I don't know.
As
Maybe
a rule for I quit, yeah.
I think it's just me watching it with my eyes, because I do distinctively remember this being a pretty fun match to watch with The Rock and Mankind and the whole whatever stuff. But as I'm older, maybe it's just not hitting the same. I don't know. I didn't like it. I just didn't enjoy it. I think it should be lower on this list. But don't add. I'm just
That
a
was
filthy casual. I don't know. Okay. I know you
Damn,
guys are gonna
dirty
kill me
Mark.
for that one, but that's fine. I didn't like it.
That version of the Rock's theme with that casual
Disgusting.
it was like a casual ass intro because he did it. He's like, "Your monkey ass says I quit," and he put him. He's like, I quit. And he raised the eyebrow while it was happening. He went, "Do you smell what the Rock is cooking?" It was like, "Oh man,
corporate Rock." That's nasty.
the Rock says." I remember. I'll never forget. I guess because in the 2001 version of the Rock's theme, the one that we all know with the yes man, what the Rock is cooking, that was a hot theme, but when it played all the way out, it was great. I remember buying the CD, and that particular song was on volume 4, or the green CD, I remember, and for some reason, it always bothered me because on the CD, for whatever reason, when it does the song, it does the song about a minute or so in, almost because The Rock did his own ad libs where he goes, the Rock says, know your role and shut your mouth. Like it was doing all this stuff. Out of nowhere, if you listen to the CD, it goes, The Rock says, something. You take your little CD, dust it off, turn that sumbitch sideways, and stick it straight up your candy ass, right? So I hated it because it took me out of, like, I'm supposed to listen to the song like it would be in the arena. It's not in the arena version. They just did that for the CD. It was stupid.
Mm-hmm.
There was a Raw. I can't remember which one it was. Guys, go out there and look for it. It's hilarious. There's a Raw where he comes out and he hits the turnbuckle like that, like he normally would. And when he did the smell, whatever, the shit said, take your little CD, dust it off, turn that son bitch out. I said, did they play the CD version on Raw? What the hell is this? Who messed up? Who deleted the Rock's audio by accident? This is bullshit. I could do the music for WWE. Give me a goddamn CD. Give me a boombox. Somebody get me a boombox. We got this. All right. So yeah, it's on the list. So next week we are going to do top 5 live with the crew, and we'll discuss it here on the show. So let's go ahead. I love these matches, by the way. Let's go ahead. We'll get into our main event.
It is now time for the main event of the evening.
It is now time for our main event here, and we're going to do pro wrestling by the numbers. And what I mean by that, brief description. Brief.
Oh man, that nose thing is crazy. What is going on over there?
The execution.
Yeah, that sounds nasty.
For whatever reason, whenever I'm on the air, all of a sudden I got allergies. I've noticed ever since we started filming, I'll look back at some of the clips and you're talking, and all of a sudden you see me go. For whatever reason. I forget that I'm even doing it. It's so nonchalant at this point. Like just now I did it. I didn't even catch it until you said it. But yeah.
Yeah, that's the
So we're
second
doing
time you did it, by the way. I let the first one slide. That sound is crazy.
So we're doing pro wrestling by the numbers. And the reason, and not reason, but what I mean by that is I hear it all the time that WWE is old. They got a lot of old guys on WWE, and AEW is that young, hip, and up and coming company, and so many like TNA is now coming around to being a promotion for young and up and comers to get their ability to get on TV and strut their stuff. And well, I decided let's take an interesting walk down the actual numbers. What I mean by that is, what are the ages of said company, right? So we're not going to go into a lot of detail, but I've put in the work and I've got some stuff that I want to show you guys, okay? Because I think personally, I can sit here and tell you guys all the live long goddamn day on what I feel about who's old, who's not old. So before I start showing you what I got to show you here, let's talk really quickly on old, right? So what I did here was I took 4 rosters: WWE, NXT, TNA, and AEW. And if you're saying to yourself, AJ, NXT is WWE, why didn't you just combine them? Because the point of this conversation is to show you exactly what the disparity is amongst ages. And when I show you NXT, you'll realize very, very quickly why I didn't add them to the WWE numbers, because it will skew it in a weird way. It'll fuck up the average. You'll see in a second what I mean by that. Because if I'm telling you right now, if I added NXT's numbers to WWE, it's gonna fuck up your whole WWE is old argument, because NXT's numbers are so young that it just fucks everything up.
But
So,
that makes sense, though.
okay, but I just wanted to show the actual disparity. Yeah,
Well, I get it. I get it.
yeah.
I'm just saying that makes sense.
Yeah, so I kept it different just so you guys can get an idea of what it is we're talking about. So I did those 4 rosters, and I did 3 different groupings. I did 40 and above. So I made a list of all of the active competitors on each brand that are 40 and above. Then I did a list of just the 30s, because that's the sweet spot in wrestling. A lot of the roster members are in their 30s. That's the prime time of your physical life. That's when you're at your peak physically and your peak mentally. So there's a lot of 30s. And you'll see the one company who's living and dying in those goddamn 30s. Then we did an under 30. That means 29 and below. And I think you're going to find some interesting facts in what I'm going to show you. So first and the foremost, let's share the first screen, which is WWE's over 30. That's the first one. So I'm going to bring that up right here. There we go. So right there on this list, and I think because this is going to fuck up with my can I put it like this? Nah, that's going to fuck it up. That's going to fuck it up too. Let's leave it here. Okay. So this is WWE's over 40 list. These are all of the active competitors over the age of 40 and up. I color coded them also so that you can see and determine by sex, right? So the blue, obviously, the male, green being the female. But R-Truth is abuelito. He is the grandfather of the team here. Remember not too long ago when people were like, we can't let R-Truth leave? He can't be released? No way. We can't let this happen. This man is tired. Let Grandpa go home. He wants to go home. Let Grandpa go home. I don't understand. Far and away, the age is ridiculous. However, I will say this before anybody starts saying that I'm hating on R-Truth. I would pay handsomely to be in the type of shape that R-Truth is in right now at 54. The boy is a house. Okay? It's a brick house. This man is in shape. I don't think I've ever seen R-Truth not in shape. What does a fat R-Truth even look like? It'd be crazy. I guess we'll find out soon because once he retires, I don't think he's going back into the gym. So we'll find out. Rey Mysterio also at 51, and that fucks my head up because I just watched that boy last night pull out all kinds of shit last night. And I'm like, how is he 51 with no knees? Still doing this moonsault to the floor and all this other shit. I'm like, this is crazy. AJ Styles, CM Punk, your boy Sheamus. Sorry, your boy Sheamus is in here. Randy Orton, Shinsuke Nakamura. I'm not going down the whole list, but look at the over 40 group. Kevin Owens. This is the world we live in, folks. Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, the Usos, Cody Rhodes, Drew McIntyre. Basically, both world champions and all of their competition is in this group. And this is why the WWE, in my opinion, does feel a little on the older side. Because look at the names that are on this. Roman Reigns, Rusev, even so. I didn't know Asuka was 44. I'll give it.
It's making a lot of sense to me now. That's an inside joke for myself. Anyway,
I've been calling her Grandma Nettie for years, but now I think that it's warranted. Nikki Bella, we knew. Shocked to see Nia Jax on here. I didn't realize she was 41. Candice LeRae looks great for 40. Not gonna lie.
She's that makes her look a little different too. I didn't think she looks a lot younger than that.
Yeah, she does. She looks good for 40. But these are the usual names. You even have some below. Like, for instance, Finn Balor at 44. Last night's Raw main event was a 47-year-old Punk against 44-year-old Balor. I'm starting to see it. Okay.
Now, let's take into consideration, I'm sure I don't have to tell anyone who watches, who may listen in here, but we're not just talking like 40. Like, that's the number they are. But these guys have been bumping since they've been like 16.
Yes.
So they're 40, but they're like kind of 80.
They're not 40. Yeah, they're not 40.
So now let's go back to what you just said about these guys still performing at a high level.
This
absolutely is insanity. Their bodies should not be doing this right now. I'm 38 and I can't get out of bed. I've never bumped in my life.
And you know what breaks my heart? Alex Shelley at 42 and Chris Sabin at 44. My guns are in their 40s. Wow. I didn't know Alex Shelley and myself were the same age. I did not know that. But that's pretty cool. So now we move it over real quick to the 30s. And this is the strong list. But the problem with this list, and again, I feel like this is why the WWE skews older, is that with the exception, if you look at this list, Rollins is 39. But for those later numbers, I put in parentheses, this year, 2026, he is 39, but he'll be 40 in May. So he's leaving the 30s group in May. He's going to be added to the 40s group. If you take Seth Rollins out of this category, there are no main eventers in this bracket. There's no main eventers.
You mean for the men?
For the men.
That's not true.
Which guy? Who's it? Where's Gunther's in here? Okay, one. There's a bunch of guys in here.
KD McDonough. No, I'm just kidding.
Funko Pop Head is not in the main event.
Logan Paul.
Not a main event.
I would say he's not a main eventer.
Could be, has the potential to be.
I guess you're right.
For him to be a main eventer, he's got to be in the main events. He's not in the main events. I put Jacob Fatu in that same category. A potential main eventer, but he's not in the main events.
Okay, I'll give you that. You are correct. There are no main eventers outside of Gunther. And you do have your potentials here. But they have all of your female main eventers are in here.
But here's the deal. Just for a second, if I go back to this, when it comes to the women, Asuka has the only real argument, Nia Jax, for being a main eventer in the over 40. And yeah, you're right. If you look at the 30s, all of their main eventers: Bianca Belair, Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair. You could throw Alexa Bliss in there. You could. There's a mixture. Jane Cargill right now is the women's champion. Stephanie McCoy is the world women's champion. There's talent here for sure. Bailey's in here, but the higher level female talent, Charlotte Flair, 39, turns 40 in April. She leaves this bracket. Becky Lynch, 38. About a year or two, she leaves the bracket. Bianca Belair and Alexa are still kind of in the middle. Io Sky, I'll consider her a main eventer. She's kind of in the middle. So your women's division is looking strong, at least. They've got some time there. But again, not to be disrespectful, but women, people don't look at women the same way as they do as the men. And Charlotte and Becky,
this age range, I was gonna say, you brought it up, so I'm gonna fucking lean into it.
Yeah.
This is the 40s
for women. Yes, very much so. Yeah. Women were allowed.
I didn't want to say it. You baited me, so I get killed in the comments.
Which makes it feel it makes it feel very cool that we're at a space now in wrestling where the women can wrestle this deep into their careers. In fact, I foresee that we're going to get more Charlotte, more Becky. Asuka at 44 years old is still rocking it. So they're more than capable of wrestling older, but they're older. And that takes me to the WWE's under 30, much smaller list. This is by the way, this is the main roster list. This is not NXT. Like I told you, it's different. We'll talk about NXT in a second. But on this list, under 30, we do have two standouts that are looking to be a main event right now. We have three actually. I'll throw Dom in there. Dom, Braun Breaker, Austin Theory. Looks like they're being positioned for big things right now, and they're 28. So that's a good sign for the future for that. Javon Evans is 21. He looks like a standout, but he's not going to be anywhere near the main event scene in the neighborhood.
With Javon, it's one of those TBD. I couldn't place him anywhere right now. Does he have talent? Yes. Does he have potential? Yes. He's green as fuck right now. We don't know what's coming from him. So.
Right now, he's raw talent. We'll see how that progresses. As far as the women go, this also looks good. Jordan Grace, I guess.
Say it. Come on.
Lyra's there, I guess. Rhea Ripley and Jordan Grace leave this category this year, March and October, respectively. Rhea Ripley, being 29 right now, after the last few years that she's had, is fucking amazing.
Rhea is an old soul. Because you telling me she's 29, I don't believe that shit. Her demeanor, the way she carries herself, the way she works, the way she seems like she's a huge leader in the locker room. She gives a presence of 35 plus.
Yeah.
So to say 29 is crazy. To think that she's only 29. Asuka's going at 44. Not to say that Rhea's going to go at 44. She may not want to, but there's potential there, and that's so much Rhea you got right now.
15-year difference between Rhea Ripley and Asuka. And I was there, Raymond James Stadium 5 years ago, so that would have made Rhea 24 and Asuka 40 when Asuka was asked to drop the title to Rhea. That's insane. I have more respect for that match now than ever before. But yeah. So that's the main roster WWE, right? So in NXT, I got a little goofy. NXT, only one guy in his 40s. Sean Spears at 44. I had to put the goofy picture because he's all by himself. Oh, poor Sean. But here's where it kicks right here. NXT only has a handful of 30-year-olds. All right, Joe Hendry, Ethan Page, Ricky Saints. There's not a lot of 30-year-olds here, but some of them are they've done some good work. Wendy Chu's did some stuff. Tony D'Angelo's done some stuff. You could look at this list and go, all right, they have some established 30-year-olds. Not a lot. Some of these guys are still trying to figure that shit out. If you're in developmental and you're in this category and you're not a Ricky Saints or Ethan Page,
Yeah, but here's another thing too. A lot of there's a good chunk of their men that are high 30s. And if you're putting them in a high 30 bracket into the WWE versus 40 to 35, that's a tough fucking bracket to get into
Yeah.
the main stage on. So that makes
You're
sense.
basically you're basically just getting moved to freshen things up on the main roster. There's nobody on this list that I feel like is going to be thrown into a main event position. There's no way. The line's too long at this point.
It's tough. It's tough. So this makes sense.
So here's where this next slide is the reason why I didn't combine them. This is the under 30, and it gets fucking deep. Now, as far as talent goes, it's not going to shock you, right? There's not a lot of people here. If I threw Charlie Dempsey at you, or Hank Walker, or Stax, or Nico Vance, or Bronco Nima, like those are names that I could rattle them off and nobody knows what the fuck is going on. Miles Bourne is talented. They've been pushing him. There's a few people here, but these people are here to be trained. This is developmental talent. These are the future 30-year-olds that are going to be hopefully doing something big in the WWE. So for everybody who's like, well, they're so old, the WWE, you're not wrong, but at least they've got some sort of backup plan. There's something in place where they can develop and keep that feeder system going. All due respect to the men, if you look at this NXT under 30 class, the women are blowing the men out of the goddamn water. JC Jane, Tatum Paxley, Adriana Rizzo, Ariana Grace, all stars. Blake Monroe, Kalani Jordan. I'll skip Laney because she's new. She's training. Lola Vice, Izzy Dane, Jada Parker, Nikita Lyons, Sol Roca. There, Zaria. This Kendall Gray is new. She's 24. She's the Evolve champion. Crazy talented. Thea Hale. The women on this fucking developmental brand right now smoking. This is good. This is the women's division is going to be tough in the next few years if all of these people get it together and learn on how to do this on the fly. They're going to be dangerous. Sleeper pick for AJ Orsini. Adriana Rizzo is fucking money. Fucking money. I'm telling you, she's hilarious. She's great look. Great fucking she can stop blowing her knees out, she'll be all right. She's just got to stay healthy. If she can stay healthy, she's gonna be fucking dangerous. Even if Adriana Rizzo, in my opinion, is so good, even if you took her out of the ring, if you just had her doing something else, just talking, she's gonna be fucking amazing. So don't sleep on that one. Don't sleep on Naguda and don't sleep on Adriana Rizzo. All right. So now the next section we're going to is TNA. That TNA over 40 class. It hurts. It's like a lightning bolt to the goddamn chest. The Hardys, first and foremost. You knew they were going to be on here. 51 and 48, respectively. You knew Frankie Kazarian was going to be on here. Eric Young is 46, and that shocked me. He has the skin of a 68-year-old. I thought for sure his spotted turtle ass was going to be a little higher on the list. But he's a young, spry 46. Ziggler's in here. Nick Nemeth at 45. Just one woman. Old Rosemary at 42, still kicking it, teaching these young things how to work. The 30s, a little stronger. Mustafa Ali for the dudes. Steve Macklin, Vance Warner's dope. Cedric Alexander, obviously. Got to talk about Mike Santana, the world champion, 34 years old, our boy. Rich Swann still doing this. I thought Rich Swann was way older than 34. That boy has been balling for a minute. The women, Alicia Edwards doing her thing. Victoria Crawford, formerly known as Alicia Fox, turns 40 in June, so still join Rosemary in the 40 plus. Daria Ray is new. That's Sonya Deville. She debuted with the company. She's 31. So Tessa Blanchard being 30 blew my motherfucking mind. Because that means all the shit she's done up until this fucking point was all in her 20s. And the fact that she blew her, all this backlash on her, just calling her momentum is crazy. She should have been a big ass star somewhere by now, but she just, I don't know, just something about her. And then we get into the under 30, and I can't break this down for you. Some of these people, I mean, you got Leon Slater at the end, but there's a lot of there's a lot of hopefuls here. Casey Navarro is a personal pick. I know he's dope. Once he heals up, he's currently injured. Once he heals up, he'll be dope. Indy Hartwell, we all know, formerly of NXT. Shocked that she's only 29. I thought she'd be a little older than that. She's been around for a while now. Cora Jade, formerly Cora Jade, now Elena Black is in TNA. She's 25. So they got some time. They got some stuff. Before I go to the next one,
Sure.
WWE main roster had 106 active performers. There's some people that are on that list that just they don't perform anymore. I don't even know why they're on the list. NXT, a lower number, or some things like 50 or something like that. TNA had like 50, right? So I'm like, oh, okay. Low roster, low budget. I got you. So next is AEW. And when I tell you this motherfucker has a roster, First and foremost, we're in the over 40 club, and I want everyone to look at this motherfucking list and tell me again how young AEW is. Go ahead and look at that list.
No. I mean, I don't know what you're talking about because as you keep going, it does kind of low key prove it.
Okay, well, no. I'm not taking it off the table. We're starting here. Okay, and then, I mean, first of all, Billy Gunn fucks the whole percentage up right here. The fact that he's 62 and still taking these bumps is asinine. What are we doing? Bill?
He's gonna die in that ring, man.
Why are we still calling you Billy? You William right now. You are William Gunn. Sir, you are William Gunn at this point. You need more respect for what you're doing out here. This top class, Billy Gunn, Jeff Jarrett, Dustin Rhodes, Chris Jericho. If you skip that one, Christian, MVP, Edge, Shelton Benjamin, Bobby Lashley, that's 2009, 2010 WWE right there. You throw a Hechicero somewhere in the middle. They got 3 women in here, but this is all. And then once you get past, these are the old heads from the old WWE, and then now you start dipping into original Ring of Honor, right? So it's like Samoa Joe, Claudio Castagnoli, Colt Cabana, Eddie Kingston, Matt Sydal, Roderick Strong. These guys are in their fucking Jay Lethal. Now in their 40s. The guys that we grew up watching in the original Ring of Honor, they're all in their fucking 40s right now. What was the one I was just looking at? Orange Cassidy. Everyone's favorite indie guy is fucking 41. The dude with the denim jacket and the hands in the pockets is 41. Oh, I'm just saying. Ibushi's on here, 43. Kenny Omega, 42. Matt Jackson of the Young Bucks, 40. Young Buck, 40. Okay? And now we take it to the next screen, which is the one Dave was talking about. And this is where it gets crazy. Because if you look at this over 40 real quick before I change it, the older guys, they're not main eventers. Like Jericho was a main eventer when he was active, but he hasn't been active with AEW for like a year. Christian, not placed in the main events. MVP, not even Edge. Edge is not placed in the main events. I don't know if I would classify Colt as a main eventer in AEW. He's never in main events. Shelton Benjamin, no. Bobby Lashley, no. Lance Archer, no. Samoa Joe, yes. He was just the world champion. Claudio, no. Colt, no. Eddie, no. He's an upper mid-carder. Kenny, yes. I would put Kenny in that category for AEW. I don't see a lot of main eventers in the over 40 club. Now, here are the goddamn 30s. And like I said before, 30s is a sweet spot. And there's a lot of fucking main eventers here. Swerve and Will and just everybody who's interchanged. The over 40s, had Moxley. Obviously, Moxley's a main eventer. He was in the over 40. But you got a nice blend here. There's a lot. This list isn't as criminal as I thought it would be because there's a lot of great talent on this list. But this list is bloated as fuck. It's bloated. When I did WWE, I said, you know what? I'm going to keep NXT separate just so I can see how the numbers work. AEW has Ring of Honor under contract. So I thought, to be fair, I'll do AEW and then I'll do Ring of Honor. But I couldn't do Ring of Honor because 80% of Ring of Honor's roster is already on the AEW roster. I already had the information. So the few left, I just threw them onto this list and said, fuck it, called it a day. That's why you'll see a name like Jack Jameson. He's 36 years old. He's predominantly a Ring of Honor guy, but fuck it, I'm not going to have him in his own category. Plus, he's 36. These guys are inching ever so closer. Big Bill turns 40 in August. Dalton Castle, 40 in March. Pac turns 20 in August. And Thunder Rosa in July. Okada's in here. O'Reilly's in here. Adam Cole's in here. Keith Lee's in here. There's a lot of names. Leo Rush. Private Party is in here. When I met Private Party, especially Isaiah Cassidy at House of Glory, he was a teenager. He's in his fucking 30s now. This is insane to me. And now we look at the under 30. This is the key
Much
one.
bigger.
Much what?
Much bigger than the other ones.
Much
Under
bigger.
30.
Well, with the exception of NXT, actually, no, I think it's even bigger than NXT. He had a lot of the 30s. But yeah, much bigger, right? This is the key one here. 29 years old, MJF. That's the one that the AEW loves to tout. It's the one that everybody always says, the best under 30 performer in the business today, MJF. Well, as of March, that title goes away. He joins the big boy crew up in the 30s when this is over. But still, a lot of talent here. And you just said a second ago, much bigger list. AEW across the board has a bigger list. There's so many signed talents.
You have 161 people total for AEW. With WWE, it was like 100 and
it's like 106.
106.
But if you add, I think it's 54 from NXT.
And I was wrong. NXT has 29 to 20 is bigger than this roster. NXT had more younger people. So
okay,
yes.
Well, but that's again, and that's why I didn't add NXT's numbers to WWE's because it would have skewed it. It would have given you the impression that WWE had more youth than it actually did. That's why I separated two so people could see that.
They do. But, it's just not on the main roster.
Right. But per capita, AEW has a lot of fucking people on contract. And at the very least, when WWE does have an older crew that you see on Raw and SmackDown, but at least they're young guys you can see on Tuesday on CW on their own show. AEW doesn't have that. AEW has Dynamite, it has Collision.
That's the problem.
And when you watch Dynamite and Collision, you see the Bucks, you see Omega, you see Moxley, you see the main stars that they push. Even if you go back to the 30s, Swerve is on here at 35, right? And Adam Page is somewhere here, 34, right? So let's, as an example, Page and Swerve are obviously big main eventers for AEW. They're right there smack dab in the mid-30s. There's nothing wrong with that. They're still very young and got a lot of time to go. I'm not saying anything wrong about being in the 30s, but you're going to blink and they're going to be 40s. And the way that they wrestle, it won't be a good-looking 40. Kenny Omega is sitting there at 42. He can't walk. And I don't mean that as a slight. I mean, physically, when you see him, he says in his promos now, he's saying tag matches and all this other stuff. He said, I don't know if I could do another singles match, but if I can, I want it to be against this guy, blah, 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 blah. He's 42.
Well, you heard what he said. He sacrificed his safety for the show. It was his words.
Yes, he did.
He didn't wrestle safe.
And now it shows.
Put it all on the line. And now R-Truth is out wrestling.
Yeah, Billy
That's
Gunn.
Actually a good thing, though. It's actually a good thing, though. Like, this shows that.
Billy Gunn is on the same program, and he's 62.
It's true. And where was he wrestling before he went there?
Right, and just based on style alone. Remember what we said with the injuries conversation. Even if you do it right, it goes wrong. So if you kill yourself, this is what happens. I'll take the right here, the AEW under 30. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm looking at it physically. A lot of talent here. Jack Perry's on TV more than everybody else, but Lee Johnson is good. Action Andretti has some talent there. Commander is exciting to watch. Obviously, Kyle Fletcher right now is their Braun Breaker. He's a young guy that they're trying to hoist into the main event scene right now, and he's doing pretty good. Hook is a guy that they've tried to get over. Hologram is athletic as all hell. The Martin brothers are very, very good tag team. You've got young women talent here. Sky Blue's looking good. Anna Jay is special. Megan Bain, obviously, a powerhouse. They've got talent across the board here. You don't see any of them. Not consistently. Every now and then you'll get a 6-man where they throw the Martins in there to do some spots. So you'll see Lee Johnson get beat up by somebody, or Julia Hart has a dope-ass entrance, and she was the TBS champion, I think she was. The minute she lost that, we never saw her again. So it's like, it's the hot and cold effect. So now that we've shown all of the rosters, I'm going to the pie chart. So based on everything that I've shown you based on the age groups, this is literally how it breaks down to the roster, right? Not a lot of the super old 60s and 50s. We got one guy in the 50s, a small 6% here in the upper 40s. Here's your bulk right here of the WWE main roster, really between 44 and 35. You can look at the early 30s and say there's 4% a good number, but over 50% of the WWE roster is between the ages of 44 and 35. It's right there, and that's current.
And we already stated in that 44 to 40 area is where the bulk of the
main event
money is being made. Yes.
Right, exactly. So the question that you have to ask yourself is, once those 40s become 50s and once those 30s becomes 40s, who's next? And that's the next slide. Look at that NXT figure right there. Where is the bulk? Where is that 60% sitting? 29 to 25. And they're learning. And they're learning from that 21% above them in that 34 to 30 range. There's no old heads here. There's no old heads here. For the most part. I don't know where that 10% came from up top. I got to fix that. But it's a crazy effect that their developmental has that much waiting in the wings. Now look at the TNA roster. It's a little bit more diverse. 35 to 39 seems to be,
which makes sense, because this wasn't, I guess you can count it now, but a little bit ago, this was not a part of the structure we just looked at. So for this to be a little bit more even makes sense, because it's its own entity. So you're looking at main eventers within itself, not compared to the main roster. So that makes sense.
Right. So then when we go to AEW, we're looking you're looking at 39 to 30 right here. Basically, the 30s is where a bulk, more than half of their roster pretty much sits in that range, 39 to 30, which wouldn't be terrible, because that is a peak age for a lot of these wrestlers to be in, where they're doing phenomenal work. And we just said a second ago, their biggest gun is turning 30 this year. So when MJF gets into this bracket, it's going to be even stronger. But the concern isn't the 30s. I mean, at that style, the way these guys wrestle, it is kind of a concern, but that concern isn't now. The concern is when this 39 to 35 bracket becomes the 44 to 40, because there's no one below. And it's not like you don't have talent. You do. We just showed you the list of names that are on that list. There's talent there, but there's no one there to develop it. There's no one there. At the very least, when you come back here, this 29 to 25 right now is focused solely on just the education of being in this business. Whereas this 29 to 25 is trying to pick up whatever they can from that group above them. And I don't know if you want to mimic what the group above them is doing, because it ain't working out so well.
Well, let's look at what we just talked about in the WWE, that 40 to 44 to 40, 44 to 35 range is kind of like your golden era. Whereas if you look at it here, you pointed out some of the people in the 40s are like damn near like crippled. You know what I mean? Like,
well, when you hear that slogan, AEW is where the best wrestle. Whenever the criticism you always hear from fans is that WWE has a much slower pace, a much simpler match style, and AEW is much more fast paced, much more energetic, way more moves. It's way more interesting than WWE style. And I'm not here to debate that. It's subjective. You can like whatever style that you want. But if you look at the numbers, the old guys in WWE are lasting longer than the young guys in AEW. Swerve just got back, but he was injured for several months. Will Ospreay is currently injured. We don't know when he's coming back. Kenny Omega, like I said before, is having a lot of health issues, diverticulitis, but he's also having back issues. This crop right here, if we go back to the list of the people that were in right here, that's this big list of the AEW 30s, Sammy Guevara is dead set on making sure he doesn't make it to fucking 40. There's no fucking way that he's gonna make it to 40. Not at his literally breakneck pace. There is a number of individuals in the 30s where if you look here, you have Jay White, obviously big star, Ricochet, obviously big star. They have their stars in this category, Brody King, and next to these names are people that have been on the roster for fucking forever, and you don't fucking see them. Ricochet is right here. The Von Erich brothers are on the Ring of Honor roster. They did an AEW show in Texas in a stadium, and they almost didn't put these fuckers on it. And that's Texas. You could say Andrade is back, right? Okay, Adam Cole, Andrade, and then it goes Arya Daivari, Jack Doyle, Jack Jameson. You go Juice Robinson. Okay, Max Caster, Nicholas Jackson. We've got some goddamn momentum. Trish Adora comes on here. I have personally called her matches. She's fucking amazing. She's only on fucking Ring of Honor. Anthony Bowens is. My point is you can go down the line, and for every really, really good talent that is pushed and is clear on the show, this guy is good. You should follow this guy. It's about two other names next to him of people we don't see. And it's not a knock against the guys or the talent that's on there. It's really a bad situation. It's a spoil. It's a what do you call it? The spoils of riches or something like that. Where it's like, you've got so much going for you, you just don't know.
It cannibalizes itself. Like you said, you have talent that is good. Some you've even personally worked with, but they would, in theory, not to say, I'm not trying to say what they should do or what they want to do, but what I'm saying is, in theory, with that talent, being in a roster of 161 people where they only have a main roster means you're not going to get the same amount of reps that you would as if you were in NXT. So if you were in NXT, not only do you get more reps, you get to sharpen yourself, you get more exposure, which gives you better opportunity rather being in this bloated roster where you're fighting for time against Jericho, against Kenny Omega. Like, you're not going to get the reps. You're just not going to get the reps.
No, absolutely not.
And there are people, like you just said, not getting reps, period. They're not even on TV at all. They're not working.
It's home. Hold on a second. This AWG. I just want to double check something before I comment because I was getting ready to say something and I want to make sure. Okay, so here's one of the things that AEW does do as an opportunity, that there are no other non-talent. Okay, they don't do a whole lot. I've seen a few people where they post it, but they don't do a lot of house shows. AEW, they don't really tour and do those shows where it's like non-TV, just set up a ring and have the people come and check out a show type deal. I don't know if it's cost cutting. I don't know what the overall purpose of that is, but they just don't. So it becomes like we said, it's impossible to not get lost in the shuffle. There's just so many moving parts. So I don't know, and that's why I did all that, because we can sit here and say, oh, this person is being, is only got a few years left, or this person, and it's also, there's a 23-year-old that's on that list that might retire in 3 years, and then there's a 40-year-old who might try to break the Billy Gunn record. We don't know. It all depends on how these bodies hold up. But the main crux of this story is that they're human beings. And Finn Balor looks great and looked in phenomenal shape. And he had a great match last night against CM Punk on Monday Night Raw. He is 44. He ain't getting out of the bed at the hotel room the same way he did when he was 24. There's a clock on everybody. So as a goddamn rule of thumb, most companies try to have a feeder system or some sort of plan in place to replace the top guys. And AEW, I think, has talent to replace the top guys. I don't think they're preparing those people to take those spots. WWE is preparing them to take that spots. Hit or miss, like it or not. There's a lot of people that don't like Braun Breaker. They think he's boring. They think he's vanilla. He's got intensity, but that's it. He doesn't really do anything that's all that crazy. Then there are some people who love Braun Breaker, the absolute death. He's the future. He's this. That spear is ridiculous, and all that stuff. It's all really subjective, but there's nothing subjective about numbers. Those clocks are ticking. We just lost John Cena. AJ Styles is already preparing to leave. It looks like he's about to accept a retirement match. If you lose, your career is over at the Royal Rumble. We'll talk about that next week between AJ Styles and Gunther. There's Punk. Every single day, Punk goes, I will see how much time I have left. It's all about what comes after. Kenny Omega is on the other side of things. He gave his body and everything to this business. All the respect in the world to him. No doubt about it. Respect that man greatly. But he's in a lot of fucking pain. There's a lot of guys. Will Ospreay has said recently about being in pain, and he's still in his 30s. Swerve added weight. He added more muscle for the pounding that his body goes through because he's in pain. This is not easy to keep up. And when you have a system like NXT, I feel like that's what helps. If AEW had a system like that, which it very well could, you could use Ring of Honor for that, but they don't. Dustin Rhodes is on Ring of Honor, so it is what it is. It's. My wife gets sick of hearing it. She told me yesterday. She goes, "You talk about it. You say it all the time. It's Tony Khan and the toys. It's the toys. You play with the toys. That's all that it really is." But those are the numbers, folks. And that is our show. So next week, we are live. We are live next week for our Royal Rumble live convo. It's going to be me. It's going to be Dave. It's going to be Pombo. It's going to be some other guests. We're going to be talking about my top 5 non-Royal Rumble matches. And then, of course, talking about the Royal Rumble match itself, what this means for the people involved, the championship that will be on the line. Can Jey Uso go back to back just to piss off the internet one time? Let's see. Will it be a name that's never won before? Will it be a repeat? Will they head to WrestleMania? Which champion will they face? Which champions will be champions by the time we get to WrestleMania? All that and more next week on the live. Check it out. We'll be live on Facebook, on YouTube, and on The Kick. We'll be on The Kick next week. I'm not giving up my old man status. I'm going with it. It's The Kick. So thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for sharing. Thank you guys for sharing. And of course, thank you guys for enjoying episode 339. It's Royal Rumble time. We will see you.
Mic drop. Wait a minute. This is too much. Cooking it like a pro. Wrap it up, everybody. Show's over.